What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to HCS Pro Talk, your weekly Halo esports podcast. This is episode 349 for the week of July 21st, 2024. The title of this week's episode is the HCS Atlanta Preview, because it's finally fucking time where Halo's going to be back on LAN. Can't wait. My name is Josh, aka JK Fire. This week I'm joined by the man in the... Was that a special colorway, Will? I'm trying to remember.
I mean, they did the black and green, the blue. They had different colors. This was just on the Optic store.
And one of the different color variations of the Optic Gaming hoodie, Will, aka I'm Mr. Mayhem. Will, how are you doing on this Monday evening?
I'm doing fine. My skin hurts. I'm sunburnt from being on the boat all weekend. And my muscles are sore because I did, wet tubing. And you just hold on for dear life. Don't get flung off,
Oh my God.
So, yeah, I feel like Vader in the suit. My body is just stinging from my clothes.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I'm sorry that you're sunburned, but I love your explanation as to how that became a thing. So that's great.
Yeah, it's all, maybe I'll get a tan finally now that I'm burnt.
Hey, that's the best way that we do it. Yeah. Us pasty white boys, the best way that we can get tan is by getting burned to a crisp beforehand.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing all right. A little tired, but genuinely, I'm just really excited. They're really, it's that feeling before a LAN event's about to happen. Halo on LAN is a completely different beast than just watching these online tournaments, which are good for entertainment purposes, but like from a real competition standpoint, it's nice to be able to finally look forward to seeing these folks compete on LAN, compete at their best. And that's what we're going to talk about today.
All right.
So with that, Will, do you want to know what's on this week's episode of the show?
Yeah, I'm sure. I have no idea.
It's our HCS Atlanta preview. Oh my fucking God, it's crazy. But we have a few things to get to beforehand. So without further ado, let's get into some competitive news. Play Griffball Late League Season 3 signups are live. This is by Play Griffball. And yes, they're finally posting on Twitter again. Thank fucking God. They state, apologies for the long hiatus. We are pleased to announce that Late League ranked Griffball is going strong and signups are open for our third season of Infinite Griffball. If you're interested in trying out the game type or our Discord, the link is included in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show, ! Show notes and chat if you're watching live, or it's going to be in the description of the audio podcast service of your choice or YouTube. And they also state, we have community members who have been working hard on testing and refining the Halo Infinite Griffball game type. The gameplay is fast-paced and dynamic, leading to quicker games for the most part. And then they include a little clip how one game was not going as fast as they were expecting it to be. But we've always been curious, when are they going to be able to make a Griffball game type that actually works well with an Infinite, considering the hammer dynamics? And it looks like they were really able to finally crack the code on that. So I'm very happy for them that they were able to do that. It sounds like they're all having a blast over there. So if you've been any at all interested in Griffball with an Infinite and you want to get into a ranked league, feel free to check those guys out. Go to that Discord in the show notes, show them some love, and sign up if you're interested. Okay, so thank you for the 2-month resub. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated. Welcome back. What's up, Minty Fresh? Welcome back as well. Everybody that's tuning in live, welcome. And welcome back. Hope everyone's having a great one. Halt with the 12-month resub. You get a woo! Greatly appreciated there too. Thank you so much. Next up, I got to get the soundbite ready because...
Oh, gosh.
Have arrived early to the States to prep for Atlanta. This is by Scoob Meister. On July 16th, he stated, beginning the HCS Atlanta journey tomorrow, first stop is Dallas. So they are in the States. We'll see how much boot camping they're able to get in before the event, because we already know that Quadrant and Into the Breach are here. Not in Minnesota, obviously, but in the States regardless. And they are currently boot camping. So that is great to see. All that we've ever wanted is for these teams to be competing at the best level they can. And being able to not have to be surrounded by that jet lag and whatnot is going to be great for them. So yeah, just really looking forward to what they're able to do in Atlanta. Next up, after I take a sip of my Red Bull. Will, it's finally happening.
It is.
They're finally releasing the HCS 2024 Extermination Bundle. This is by the HCS. There is a S7 sniper weapon model and partnered organization kill effects that you've probably been seeing on these pro player streams for the longest fucking time. Well, now they're finally going to be in the game as of tomorrow, which is Tuesday, July 23rd. And just for people to be aware of the pricing, the Skull Taker sniper model will be included in your first bundle purchase for 1,000 credits, or $10. And each bundle purchase after that will be 600 credits. Okay, so they're doing that thing again where no matter which bundle you buy first, it'll always be 1,000 credits, and it will include that weapon model. But every other bundle after that will be 600 and will include just that team's kill effect. Okay? Next up, HCS SLC information. This is by Space Station Gaming. General admission tickets and team passes are on sale right now for everybody. VIP is officially sold out. They did have additional that went live after our show last week. But of course, we're not really going to talk about that because they're sold out again. But if you want a general admission ticket, they are available right now, $45. And I believe that is before the discount code. 3-day event. You get the event reward card for drops, and you get an event poster while supplies last. Okay? So there you go. And again, Team Pass is available right now as well. Everything is over on start.gg. So I believe it's going to be the same for every event. You need to be registered as your whole team. Okay? So there you go. Not a problem, Dusty. Glad you were able to get that VIP. Hell yeah. All right, Will, before we get into some Rostermania and get closer to our topic of the show, we have the competitive ruling, coaching devices, and band controllers. This is by the HCS. First up, HCS rules update effective immediately. Coaching devices. Coaches may not use a device that connects to the internet after the match has begun. This includes cellular phones, laptops, tablets, and other Wi-Fi enabled devices. Coaches may use a stopwatch or other timekeeping devices, but phones will not be allowed.
I'm excited to see what coaches bring.
Well, here's
what we see on main stage in the future here.
So here's the thing, Will. I'm going to be a piece of shit for a second. Okay? Because just hear me out. I don't know if you're going to get a chuckle out of this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When they made this ruling before this official statement came out, right? And we went based off of a screenshot that was taken from the HCS Discord. And we're like there needs to be some clarifying information here because people could take this multiple ways. Like, what is a smart device or whatever the fuck the terminology they used before. I think there needs to be a little more clarification added to this statement because all it says is coaches may not use one. It doesn't say they can't use one, Will. I know they can't actually use one. That's the rule. The rule is that they can't use one. But the fact that they say they may not use one, well, what if I may? What if, what if I'm Royal One and I walk up on stage with my fucking tablet? It says, well, I may not use it. It doesn't say I can't use it. The fuck? Because, fun fact, Will, later on in that statement, it says, but phones will not be allowed. A tablet's not a phone. Just saying. HCS, you got to button shit up over there. It's getting get dicey.
I mean, is it possible in today's date to have like a laptop or a phone that doesn't have Wi-Fi capabilities? Because I don't think so. Not in the capacity that these teams are using.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just being an asshole. Just based off their wording. I'm fully aware what the rule is. But like based off their wording, I just don't want it to bite them in the ass. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But then also, let's talk about the banned controllers. The following controllers are banned from competition use. The Fly Digi Apex 3, the Apex 4, the Vader 3 Pro, and the Direwolf 2 and all other Fly Digi controllers. So I'm surprised they didn't just say all Fly Digi controllers. But hey, whatever. Any controller that has programmable macro buttons that can be utilized without the presence of third-party software. Okay. And then you can check out the link that they have for more rulings. But here's a little fun fact. Spartan put out a little reply here, and he states, those controllers have been banned since 2021, according to the HCS rulebook. Do with that information what you will. And for those who may not recall, Royal 2 used one in Atlanta.
You mean?
I mean, in London, not
in
Atlanta.
London?
Atlanta's fucking next. London, yes.
Huh. Yeah, I was curious if that was a jab or what.
I mean, if you read further replies to that, he feels like he was specifically targeted, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one because that should have been on admins or whoever were setting up those stages for them to be like, hey, that's a banned controller, you know?
Yep. Love Ronan's reply here. I just want to say this because I thought it was funny. So Sparty's such a stickler for those rules.
Yeah.
Hey, for what it's, like I said, I thought that statement was funny, but in all seriousness, like, if you break the rules, you should be reprimanded for it.
Yeah, 100%.
And then, like, now we get into the whole conversation of, like, you know, do they retroactively look into this for Royal 2? Because if what Spartan's saying is true, and if they were actually banned in 2021, then this, honest to God, should be a non-issue. Like, there should be an investigation and action should be taken.
Well, what investigation can you do at this point? We don't know if Royal 2 had macros programmed into that controller in London or not.
True.
So it's interesting that he was able to get one in and use.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he just likes the controller, didn't have the macros programmed. I would hope that would be the case. You know, benefit of the doubt before, because we just don't know.
Yep.
But man, that could have been a huge issue if it was actually caught at London.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like you said, maybe not anything can be done retroactively, but like I said, anybody that's breaking a rule, there should be action taken upon it. I don't care who the fuck you are. So guess we'll have to wait and see if anything happens. But that is it for the competitive news. Which means, Will, what do we got next? Rostermania!
Yeah, some Rostermania here. Real quick, Ruby Hacked says, are we assuming Royal 2 didn't ask the admins?
I don't know.
You know, we don't know.
I don't know.
Been like, hey, you can test this controller out. It doesn't have macros. That's fine.
It just real quick, Will, before you get to the rosters, like I said, and I mean this, like anybody that is breaking the rules, like especially if it's intentional, like that, absolute no-go. Consequences should be had for your actions, so on and so forth. And the other thing too is like, let's just assume, let's flip it. Let's assume that he did. Let's assume that he did ask the admins. That, and if Spartan's correct and they were actually banned from 2021 onward, then that's on the admin as well as Royal 2 at that point, you know, just like I said with the whole SSD situation, is that's on the admin and Spartan. Like both should be reprimanded. So like I said, I don't know where we go from here, but regardless, you know, don't break the fucking rules.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Rostermania. This is more org stepping in versus teams changing.
Correct.
So, Bittersweet have signed the incognito roster for Atlanta, and that's going to be King, Nick, Collect, Descendant, and Manny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is supposed to be under or UNDR have signed Athropex, Zycane, iSpar, and Gangstas. And then Tormatic Gaming are picking up Desire, Sir Ebby, Zove, and Hyam Ninja. So, yeah, look for those orgs and rosters to be in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And that's all we got.
Then it's time for your upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombat.com. Make sure to check out noobcombat.com whenever that site goes live again. I don't know if I could ever will. Friday, July 26th to Sunday, July 28th, we have the HCS Atlanta Major. And that's it for the upcoming tournaments of the week presented by noobcombat.com. Scrim Tournament League recaps, Will. What do we got? I don't fucking know, dude. What do we got? What tournaments happened last week? Fuck.
We'll start off with the SWAT Nation Unforgotten results. Fourth place went to a team called Ice Caps. This was Naptime's Valorous, Tyler, and Nuclear Blaze with a C on the end. Third went to Throwing, which was Witchcraft, Fallen, Traps, Shells, and Valor. We go with Valor on that name. You know, weird spelling for gamer tag, but anyway. Second went to Resolute. It was Smokey Dig, Dreadside, Schizo Slay, and Smoky Dreams. And first went to Papa Mines. This was Mines Inferno. This I7948. If anyone knows what the gamer tag is supposed to be, please let me know.
That's him on Twitch too.
That's just it. I7948. All right. And then I'm just going to go with Space. There's a Q in there, but I'm going to go with Space.
I think you're right.
LVT did a show match over the weekend. This was Legend and Snakebite versus Druck and Stellar. It went the way 4-1 to Legend and Snakebite.
Yeah, it was supposed to be Renegade and Bound in place of Druck and Stellar, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong though.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, Renegade and Bound were the Money 2's dominant team that just ran everybody. So yeah, it'd be cool to see them back at it.
Absolutely.
Last but not least here, a tournament that Josh and I competed in on separate teams.
Will made it much farther than I did. Tell you that.
One round. Well,
hey now.
Yeah, one more round, right? Technically. HCS Grassroots Cup, again hosted by LVT.
Yes.
Your placements. Fourth place went to the Precursors. It was K-Matify, Generic, Shades and Fades, and Omniscient Wolf. Third went to Red Rangers, Ranger Cali, Reclaimer, Red Gear, and Accelerate. Second went to Minions for Life, J-Tracer, Pure Delight, Trunks, and Jubs. And first went to Gunship Academy, Eli X, Junkship, Gun Goddess, and Clutch Academy.
Indeed. Real quick, I want to give massive props to my teammates. They kept the vibes in check because I don't want to throw excuses out there, but legitimately, the night before was very rough in terms of like a potential health thing. That is not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, but so my vibes were not locked in, but they were having a great time. They were laughing their asses off, and that's all that really fucking matters. So no, shout out to them. Shout out to Will making it farther than I did. Shout out to PD's team as well, because Will, after we were knocked out, we were rooting for them, as much as we could. And yeah, shout out LVT for putting it on and inviting us in the first place. So thank you guys.
Yeah, exactly. Glad to be included, even though we're not official HCS Grassroots partners. Yeah, it was team. All right. I know Tools is here. I know you guys put in the chat asking about like the team balancing. Me and Josh talked about this.
It was
and,
rough.
Some of those teams were heavy on the Onyx players versus not. I feel like just nobody wanted to be the bad guy in chat and be like, yeah, let's re-roll teams,
Yeah, and it was, like Tool says, it was completely randomized. And like I said,
it was.
We're not here to it's not that big of a deal. It was all for fun. And frankly, even though like we played. So Will, our first round matchup, like my first round matchup, was against the winners of the tournament who didn't drop a map. So
that was our second round matchup.
We were off to a rough start. But I will say, I even forewarned my teammates, if I'm not mistaken, that I have a bad relationship with rockets.
Yeah.
Where I tend to hit pillars and I tend to hit walls. Rockets and myself, we're not good friends. And I'll just say this. I think I had my best rocket performance probably of all time. Straight up in that game 1 of the tournament. I think I spawned with rockets. So a lot of these modes were like Fiesta type modes. And the Halo RNG gods blessed me a few times and gave me rockets. And I only shot a pillar once. So, and thank God it wasn't on stream. But I definitely shot a pillar once. If you were paying attention to the kill feed and you saw JK Fire Insomniac commit suicide, that was me. And I did. But goddamn, did I not get a couple double kills first before that happened? That felt good. Yeah. So hell yeah.
I felt like all my worst moments were on stream. I know I fell off the map on stream a couple times. But then right after or right before, I would have I made a play and I'm like, yeah, then I get on stream and it's like, well, fuck me. Like caster cursed. I'm blaming LVT for the caster curse. You know what?
Also, I got it.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault at all.
Oh no. And then Muggsy's a pain in the ass to kill. I think he had that 343 buff. That's what he had.
Ooh.
But he was just that man. He was just incredibly difficult to kill. But no, like I said, my vibes weren't necessarily locked in, but I still had fun overall. And it was just fun to be included in something like that. So again, shout out my teammates for keeping the vibes on point.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, teammates were incredible. I had Spiteful, Arthur Bloodshot, Utoria. Mm-hmm. Just wonderful people.
Oh yeah.
Chill vibes, everybody was just it was good. It was good all around.
Absolutely. And I was so happy to see PD and Trunks on the same team. It's like, obviously we love PD, but I fucking adore Jeff. So like seeing those two on the same team, I'm like, oh my God, if you can't get behind this team, who can you get behind, That's crazy.
100%.
But yeah, so that was awesome. Also, Spara Plays and A Raging Beaver, thank you guys for the follows. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. And Verb, I'm sorry. The Tiger's not here. He's not here yet, I should say. Not here yet.
He's usually a mid to late arrival.
Yes, very true. Yeah, Ashley, that's not a problem. Oh, hell yeah. Shout out John. Thank you for being here, Spara Plays. Thank you so much. What's up, Pharaoh? Yeah, Ashley, totally. Totally. And also, I should say, if anybody wants the links to the maps and the game types that were played in the tournament, they're all in that bracket link. So, like, if you open up that bracket link that is included in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show, ! Show notes in chat, and you click on show full description within the details, all of them are listed. All of the links are there. You can bookmark them immediately. So there you go. All right. With that, Will, should we get into our topic?
I think it's time.
All right. Our HCS Atlanta preview, ladies and gentlemen. It is finally time. So here's how this is going to work. If you haven't been here for a preview episode before, we're going to break down what to expect for the event. We're going to talk about all the goings-ons. We're going to talk about the side tournaments, the actual tournament that's taking place, the FFA, all that fun stuff. We'll provide our predictions, as they're always wrong, but it's always fun. And, yeah, it's going to be a good time. So hopefully you join us through this. And here we go. Event information, the tournament format. It is a 64-team open bracket. And if Ash is to be believed, and he is mostly to be believed all the time, he has stated that their because roster lock should have concluded that there are 51 teams registered for the open bracket. So 51 out of 64 teams. There you go. The open bracket will start and end on Friday, July 26th. The top 4 teams will advance to pool play. And if you want to see all of the map rotations for the open bracket, link is included in the Google Doc, the show notes of the show, ! Show notes in the chat. And yes, guys, we will talk about stickers. Don't you worry. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Next up, we have the 16-team pool play. Pool play at the Atlanta Major will feature 12 auto-qualified teams and 4 teams from the open bracket. It'll be 4 pools of 4, single round robin. First and second will go to winners round 1. Third in pools will go to losers round 1. I almost said lower. That would have been bad. And then fourth in pool play is eliminated from the tournament. Okay? That still holds true. Fourth in pools, you're out. The top 6 teams from the London Major have already locked in their respective seeds in pool play at the Atlanta Major. And then again, if you want the pool play map rotations, that is included in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show. Do you notice a trend here? And then for the champ bracket, 12 teams. The championship bracket is where the best of the best will clash for their share of $250,000 and a paid trip to the Salt Lake City Major. It is a 12-team double elimination. Top 6, just like the previous 2 events, the top 6 teams will lock in those exact seeds for HCS Salt Lake City, hosted by Space Station, which is taking place September 6th through the 8th. Here is the prize pool breakdown. First, we'll take home $100K. Second, $60,000. Third, $30,000. Fourth, $17,500. Fifth, sixth will take home $8,000 respectively. Seventh and eighth will take home $5,000 respectively. Ninth through 12th, $2,500 respectively. And 13th through 16th, $1,625 respectively. And like I've said before, I'll say it one more time. The champ bracket map rotations are included in the Google Doc of the show to the show. The FFA, $5,000. Here is the prize breakdown. And keep in mind, registration will be taking place on site. Okay, so you will need to be there to sign up, obviously. First, $2,000. Second, $1,200. Third, $800. Fourth, $425. Fifth, $200. Sixth, $150. Seventh, $125. And eighth will take home $100. There are some side tournaments that are taking place. 2 of which will be on Friday the 26th, and 2 of which will be on Saturday, July 27th. On Friday, we have a Halo 3 4v4, 16-team bracket, single elim best of 3s, and the finals will be best of fat. First will take home $800, second $300. There's a Halo 5 Guardians 2v2, 32-team bracket. Yeah, you're bringing that back. You like that, Will?
Guardians?
Yeah, Guardians. God. Remember that shit?
Yeah, I do.
Fucking 4 or 5 years ago, dude.
Yeah.
32-team bracket. Single elim best of 3s. Finals best of 5. First will take home $700. Second, $200. And then on Saturday, we have Halo 3 2v2. 64-team bracket. Single elim best of 3s. Finals is a best of 5. First place will take home $1,100, and second will take home $400. And then finally, a Halo Infinite 2v2, a 64-team bracket, single elimination best of 3s, finals being best of 5. First place will take home, again, $1,100. Second will take home $400. Rob Struck with the 11-month resub. You get a woo! And Sin, welcome back.
Hello, hello.
Shout out Sin. She was one of my teammates, by the way, in that grassroots tournament. Shout out to you. And yeah, this jersey fucks. All right. The shit you've all been waiting for. The shit that actually matters.
To Josh.
No, not just to me. Not just to me. Let's talk about booths. Let's talk about merch. Let's talk about community giveaways that are taking place in Atlanta. Shall we? I think we shall. Rob Struck, you'll be in Atlanta. Let's go. Fuck yeah. Let's go. All right. First up, there is a Space Station and Instinct hoodie that will be at Atlanta. It'll also be available to pre-order online at some point in time. But if you're in Atlanta, you can get it in person on site. So make sure to pick that up if you're any at all interested. Private Taco, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Aleo says, can't wait to see y'all there. Can't wait to see you either, man. It's going to be fucking great. All right. Then, Optic Gaming is having a little bit of a merch line as well. They're calling it their city colors for Atlanta. So go ahead and check that drop out. I don't know if it's going to be in Atlanta, but it is online right now. Okay? So take that for what you will. And then, gotta fucking shout ourselves out, Will. Gotta do that.
Oh, yeah.
So we also have a merch line that is available right now for the Atlanta Major. We have a new After Party colorway by Uriel. We have 2 new HCS Pro Talk logo colorways. We have youth logo tees. We have the return of the joggers, which I know people attending are going to be wearing. Fuck yeah. And we have worldwide shipping. So make sure to get it. Finally get to catch you guys on Twitch instead of waiting for the next day on YouTube. Private Taco, welcome. Fucking welcome. Thank you so much for checking us out on YouTube, though. And welcome to the live show. You're here. You made it. You get to be part of the shit show. I'm proud of you. You rock, show enough. Thank you very much. All right. Now the real shit that matters. The community giveaways. And again, if I missed anybody, if I missed folks that are going to be giving stuff away at the major, let me know so I can put it in the show notes so people can easily see it. Okay? All right. First up, we're going to have stickers. Okay? Duh. We're going to have stickers. And it's in both of the colorways of the logo that we did for Atlanta. Okay? So I'll have both available. And I'll also have some of the original, like some of the regular colored logo. So if you want them, come find me. I'll have them for you. Then we have Passion United stickers. Oh, the logo's over here because of the camera. Thanks a lot, fucking dumbass me. Be United stickers are going to be available. I will have some So Will Passion United at the event. So if you're interested in getting some Be United stickers, come and get them. Did we talk about Druk yet? We have not, Dorov. We have not. We will get there. I promise. I promise. We'll get there. Are y'all bringing merch too? I want some of y'all merch for sure. We are not. That is a little bit more of a... It's kind of like a supply and demand issue because I don't know how many people would actually be interested in buying it at the event. You know what I mean? And also, like, I don't want to carry that shit all the time.
Yeah.
And we don't have like our own booth or anything like that where it'd be a lot easier to set things up, but no. So unfortunately, no. But you can go ahead and check it out on the site. It'll be available for a little while, so don't feel like you're going to miss out on it like just through that one weekend. It'll be available for a little bit. Rob says, not giving away, but I'm officially selling my customizable Master Chief controller holders. Do you have a link, Rob? Do you have a link? Please, if you do, send it over. Then we have HCS Creeper stickers. The HCS Creeper will be there, and he will have stickers available as well, so go check those out. We have Ashley, who's in the chat right now. We have Spartan Raven stickers that are going to be available, so go check those out as well. And Ashley, as soon as I see you, I'm going to be hounding you for them. So best be giving them to us. I got to bring them back for Will as well, so you fucking best believe give us that shit.
Yeah, Josh needs double of everything so he can collect for me.
That's right. That's right, right. Then we have HCS stickers by Legendary C4. He did a red rendition of the HCS logo, so go check that out and get those while you can. A really cool thing here, we have, well, actually, the next three are like really cool, like very, I don't know if personalized is the right word, but like very customized items. UNSC Oni coins by Xbox Insider 1. And apparently to get one, you have to like complete something for him to get it. So a little bit of a prize for doing something for him. So go check those out. Then we have HCS trading cards by Running Riot Halo cards. And these look fucking insane. Cannot wait to get my hands on them. So make sure to go check those out too. And then finally, We have motel keychains by Ranger Callie. Now, this is going to be a hot commodity here. There's only 50 of them.
Ooh.
Yep, she's only bringing 50 of them. So you got to find Callie. You got to get your motel keychain for Atlanta. Go get it while it's hot. Yeah, Rob, please DM the link. It'd be a lot easier. Daddy with the bit. Hashtag bit by bit. Thanks for the bit, Daddy. Daddy! If I created Swole Daddy stickers, would you give them out at Worlds? Yeah. Absolutely. Tankaroo says, I'll give Josh 2 firm handshakes, one for him and one for Will. Hey, Tankaroo, can we get, like, I appreciate the handshake, don't get me wrong, but, like, if you're into hugs, I love hugs. Big fan of hugs over here. But if you're not, that's perfectly understandable. I don't want, like, you know, boundaries, respect, all that. Fully understand. Take a hug? Fuck yeah, let's go. So yeah, there you go. Check all of those out. Again, all of the links are in the show notes. And guess what, guys? The show notes, they don't go away. The link exists for as long as we have the fucking article made on Google Docs. So, like, you can, like, bookmark the link, save it, do whatever you want. But if you want, like, easy access to all these links to find these folks, go ahead, save that link. I want you guys to get these things. Like, these things are really cool. And I'm not just talking about our own shit. Like, just the fact that community members are trying to bring personalized items to these events, bring people together, you know, trade, share, whatever it is. I love it. And I want more people to be involved. So please do so. Oh, Lumberquack, it's coming. Don't worry. It's coming. What's up, Laird? Welcome back. Good to see you. And I'm excited for what you guys got cooking up, too. All right, event layout. This is from The Narrative, as a matter of fact, in their Atlanta preview that they recently posted over on YouTube. YouTube. You should go check it out. It is in the community creations portion of the show as well, so don't worry. We'll shout it out later, too. But during that show, they had stated that, I'm paraphrasing here, but they had stated that with the event taking place within a basketball stadium, the stands being used for seating are going to feel more like being at an old school MLG event with the bleachers. Okay. So, but again, like in this like basketball stadium, there are actual chairs. Like they're raised in tiers because, like, you know, you're sitting in the stands. So they are actual chairs. It's not a bleacher without a back or anything like that. Okay. So keep that in mind. Yes, Laird. Kind of like coins. But yeah, like for those who look back at like old school photos of very old like MLG events, you would see that there were bleachers set up around, and like it was like part of the atmosphere, you know, maybe it was part of the budget, whatever it was, but just looking back at those photos. And now we're going to be in a basketball stadium for Atlanta. And if you've ever been to a basketball game, you know what those seats are like. There you go. And what I'm hoping, because I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, but what I'm hoping is that based off the main stage, that they have the two teams facing each other like they did at London. That's what I'm hoping. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Oh, hell yeah, Rob. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, you motherfucker, you have an Etsy store? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Those are sick. Oh, my God. Let me post the fucking link. Guys, again, these are not free. These are not free. But go check that out from Robstruct. Robstruct's got a fucking Etsy store. That's fucking sick. Rebels, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Pactive says, I've got a bone to pick with you, Josh. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that. That scares me. What bone do you have to pick with me? Fuck. I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I don't want to say that. I've had some pretty shit takes on this show, but I've also had some pretty banger takes. But now I'm curious what bone do you have to pick with me. I'm very curious now. Go easy on me, okay? Is Friday for teams only? Is there stuff for spectators too? I'm getting in town on Friday, but I don't know if I should go to the venue. So, Tankaroo, that's a great question. There are going to be 2 side tournaments taking place. There is a Halo 3 4v4 and a Halo 5 2v2. So if you're interested in trying to sign up for one of those and competing, you can feel free to do so. Other than that, according to the event schedule, which it is included in the show notes. According to the event schedule, free play will not be available until Sunday. Okay? So unless potential organization booths have things to do, the only other 2 things to do are going to be sign up for those side tournaments that are taking place. You can sign up for the FFA, but the FFA starts, actually, I guess signups and the FFA starts on Saturday. Sorry. But yeah, free play is on Sunday. So really just the couple side events that are going on. Yeah, absolutely. Like Ash said, if you still want to see some great Halo being played, you should check in on Friday. Check out some of those pool play games. Some of them are going to be bangers. I think it's Pool C that has, Shopify and Sentinels in the same pool. Cloud9 could be a little bit of a sleeper there too. Gonna be some great fucking games on Friday. Oh, the Pokemon take. A couple weeks ago, you talked down on the greatest starter Pokemon to ever exist. It was deplorable, disgusting, and frankly, you should be ashamed. Nope, I'm not. These motherfuckers trying to come at me from the woodwork about how Bulbasaur's a good starter. Get the fuck out of here.
On the Pokemon talk again.
Hey, Pactive came in here. He's like, I got a bone to pick with you. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I prefaced and I said, I've had some shit takes on the show and I've had some banger takes on the show. And then Pactive comes in and is like, you disgraced a great starter. And I'm like, fuck no. No, if you liked Bulbasaur, that's perfectly fine. You're wrong, but it's perfectly fine. Okay? It's okay. I think, genuinely, just to put a bow on this and move on, I think I genuinely had one friend that picked Bulbasaur as their starter because everyone was either Charmander or Squirtle. And I think I legitimately had one friend growing up that picked Bulbasaur. So. John says Josh is wrong and that's perfectly fine. That's true too. All right. Oh my God. What's up, Tyler? Welcome back. All right, here we go. Moving on. We're done with the Pokemon talk, I promise. Where to watch? A through D streams. Twitch.tv/Halo/HCS/HCS_red and /HCS_blue for the A through D streams. All of the streams will be available at youtube.com/@HCS. So you can check out all of them at the same time with no ads, which is pretty fucking great. So go check that out. And then the co-streamers will be available as well as the weekend continues. So make sure if you want to get your community drops, do so. Let's talk about the talent. The talent that'll be at the Atlanta Major. We have the desk host as Lottie. We have the stage host as Blaze. We have your casters as Onset, Bravo, Gaskin, Shurzy, Walshy, and Clutch. And Tony and Active. Clutch, Tony, and Active are also analysts, which will be analyzing all the amazing gameplay that you're going to watch. Twitch drops. There be some new shit. I'm going to open this. Maybe I'm not. So, can I just zoom in on this? I'm going to zoom in. Okay. So you can get the HCS Major Weapon Charm by watching for 3 hours during any of the days is what it seems like. Watching for 6 hours will get you the Artisanal Arms Weapon Coating for all UNSC weapons and the Killtrocity Weapon Charm. Watching for 9 hours, they really changed things up here, Will. Watching for 9 hours Whoa! You'll get the Steel Legion armor coating for all cores and the Kilimanjaro weapon charm. And then watch for 4 hours in the co-streamers and you will get the Cherry Bomb Mongoose coating and the Go Milk emblem and nameplate. Wow. I don't think we've ever had a drop that we had to watch for 9 fucking hours.
Yeah. Hopefully that just is consecutive day to day over the full weekend.
Oh my God. I want to just call out here that Will in the chat said, Josh doesn't know this, but I started with Bulbasaur. You thought I was going to skip over that, you fucker?
Yeah,
See?
I did on my first playthrough. And then, I don't remember what happened. Maybe like corrupted data along the way. And then I played with Squirtle on my second more full playthrough.
Who did you feel better with?
See, I was just bad back then. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
You weren't bad.
I liked both for different reasons, you know? Like one didn't feel better over the other for me.
Okay.
And plus I caught others and liked playing with others as well, so.
I just want to let the record show that Will felt so ashamed as having Bulbasaur as his starter Pokemon that he typed it in chat instead of just saying it on the show.
You know what? I was just letting you riff, sitting here like, whatever, man. Well, fuck you. I'm not going to say anything.
Raw riff energy.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't. We're not even in the Discord, so I can't play it. Damn it.
I mean, I could play it.
Soundbite?
Yeah.
All right, because, yeah.
Hold on, can I play? Yeah, right here, right? Yeah.
Raw riff energy. RRE. What's that spell?
There you go, chat.
There you go, folks.
There you
if
go.
You can hear, if you heard that.
Oh my God. Alamarch says, Josh, when did you say the SSG Instinct merch was going to be on presale? I didn't, because I don't know when. All I said was that it's going to be available online at some point. I do not know when. So what I'd say is keep your eyes locked to Twitter and make sure you're following Space Station Gaming, because I'm guaranteed, obviously, they're going to post when it's available. I don't... Go ahead, Will.
If I recall, the Straight Rippin' hoodie was available for pre-order the Monday after the event on Space Station's website. So it's like the event is the first come, first serve, first release, and then the pre-orders are up after the event. Don't know if they're doing that the exact same, but
exactly
that's the way it went down last time.
We'll just have to wait and see. Moving on, we have our Friday schedule. The Atlanta pre-show will take place at 11:45 a.m. Eastern time. And then the matches start at 12 p.m. Eastern, and they just roll on through till about 8:30, 9 p.m. Eastern. The event schedule is also in the Google Doc of the show to the show. Again, just a couple things to point out here. For those that are going to be attending, there is no VIP for this event. Therefore, the doors open for everybody at the same time besides pro players, of course. So doors will open at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Okay. Just as a heads up. And that is on Friday. And that's a good clarification because they open at different times on Saturday and Sunday. So on Friday, doors open for general admission and the open bracket teams at 10 a.m. Eastern. And then on Friday, you can sign up for the Halo 3 4v4 and the Halo 5 2v2. Okay? On Saturday, doors open at 9 a.m. Eastern time. You'll be able to sign up for the FFA, and the FFA starts on Saturday as well. You'll also be able to sign up and compete in the Halo 3 2v2 and the Halo Infinite 2v2. And then on Sunday, doors open again at 9 a.m. Eastern. And you'll be able to have free PlayStations available on Sunday as well. So there you go. Will, we haven't used the soundbite in a little bit, so I think it's time for some roster recap. Will, you want to give us a little bit of a little roster recap for pool play?
Yeah, let's switch back and forth between the pools here. I'll start off with Pool A. If you don't know who FaZe Clan is by now, it's Frosty, Renegade, Royal 2, and Snakebite. Also in Pool A, we have Complexity, Breaking Shot, Huss, Rain, and Rynoob. We have a Team Bonton, which has been picked up by
Ascending Baseline.
Ascending Baseline, yep. That's going to be Bastos, Millsy, Mose, and Sunrise. And then that's it, because we don't know the open bracket team yet for Pool A.
That's right. In Pool B, we have Optic Gaming, which is Dead Zone, Formal, Lucid, and Trippy. We have Into the Breach, which is Jimbo, Mighty, Chick, and Woodham. And then we have Pure, which is Cherished, Druck, Last Shot, and Tolic. And we'll talk about Druck when we get to our predictions.
Pool C, Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion is going to be Cycle, Mental, Soul Snipe, and Suppressed. Sentinels, Boobadooboo, Falcated, Lethal, and Precision. And Cloud9 is Sab, Septify, Spectre, and Tusk.
And then in Pool D, we have Space Station Gaming, which is Bound, Eco, Legend, and Stellar. Quadrant, which is Glory, Sika, SLG, and Snipe Drone. And then we have Incognito, which is not Incognito, as a matter of fact. Why am I? It's Bittersweet. Jesus Christ, that took forever. It's Bittersweet Gaming, which is Descendant, King Nick, Collect, and Manny. And then, go ahead.
The travel coverage teams, I was going to go over as well.
Yeah, feel free. Please do.
So, I see you have text in between there too.
Well, here, I'll do the notable open bracket teams, and then you do the teams that were in travel coverage.
All right, so your open bracket teams that earn travel coverage is Native Gaming, APG, Barcode, Gilkey, and Tapping Buttons. We have Anita Max Win. This is Desire, Ebby, Ninja, and Zove. Alpha Esports is going to be Acid Drift, Magico, and Lure. And then Mind Freak. Josh isn't pressing the button. Wow. It's Plasma, Scoopmeister, Sways, and Rice.
Are you ready? Sorry, Will.
There you go. No, I expected the button press at that point.
I'm glad you did, and I wasn't actually prepared for it, so that just makes me look even worse. All right, the notable open bracket teams here. We have Be United! Bitch. Jesus, Big Baloo, Maddie, and Palfius. They're going to be there. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be wearing this jersey.
P United Ambassador.
Catch me outside. How about that? That's it.
What?
I'll fucking know. All right, Scion Esports, which is Uzi, Zuzi, Reverbed, and Dark Matter. We have Carolina Gaming, which is actually Reversal Perfy, which is Common, Mortally, Envor, and Yaxon. We have Team Lethal Fox, which is Rami, King J, Piggy, and Haynes. There are others as well. So go ahead and check out all the teams that are going to be competing in the open bracket. All right, Will.
Yeah.
We've made it to the best and worst part of this segment of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our predictions. And I prepared for this. Oh, there's Maddie. What's up, Maddie? Oh, yeah.
Yo.
Best jersey, baby. I'll be wearing it on Friday. Rooting you guys on. Best believe that shit.
Do we know if... Maddie, I don't know if you know, but I believe either Bejesus or Bigabaloo was waiting on their jersey. Did it ever arrive?
It did.
It did. We're good to go.
Got confirmation from PD today that it got delivered.
Beautiful.
Shout out. All right. Let me make sure that I even have this fucking screen ready, because I might not even have this screen ready. Do I have a screen ready? I don't think I do. That's okay. I'll go down here and click this button too.
Glad you're educated about USPS, PD.
I think it's this one. It is this one. Nailed it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our predictions. Pactive says, what happened to teams wearing American Eagle and Hollister on main stage? Holy shit.
Is that like an MLG throwback that I'm just unaware
we are
of?
old, dude. Oh my God, we're old. All right. God. Oh, you played for that team in Raleigh, Tyler? That's awesome. TK Snow, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Okay.
I love you can see my cursor on your screen.
Yeah, I can see it too. Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, predictions time. We're going to start with pools. We predict everything, ladies and gentlemen. We predict pools, and then we predict placings. We do it all, and they're always wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah, shit always gets fucked up.
That's right. So, Will, let's start with pool. Issue. I fucking hate you. Oh, okay. That happened. Love that. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be able to see this when I highlight it because I just have a black covering over it. So I'm just going to remove it, and you'll see what's going on. But let's get to Pool A. Will, we have the same predictions for Pool A.
Yeah.
So
I think it's pretty cut and dry here. I don't know what to say. FaZe has been dominant. Complexity have that 7th, 8th, 5th, 6th kind of feel to them.
Yep.
I have a feeling the open bracket team is gonna be coming out hot in ascending baseline, formerly Bonton. He's gonna get eliminated out of pools.
Yeah, I don't want to sound like an asshole here, but I have no faith in ascending baseline here. If that sounds shitty, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say how it is. The open bracket team that's going to be going into Pool A will be coming out of the loser side of open bracket, just as a heads up. So nice, Will. Thank you for that next crack of the pop can. Love that.
I need you to just start muting my mic.
No, it's okay. That's the ambiance, you know?
Wonderful.
So there's that. The one thing I will say, I struggled with either the open bracket being in third or complexity being in third for this pool.
Oh, really?
Yep, because complexity have been not playing well at all. The one thing that I'm keeping in their back pocket, the one thing that I'm keeping in the back of my mind in terms of complexity is that they did win the qualifier.
Oh, sure.
And if they wouldn't have won the qualifier, they would have had to go through the open bracket. So the fact that they won the qualifier, which was against a lot of the teams that are going to be playing through open bracket anyway, I put ever so slightly a little more stock into that, even if it was online, than nothing. But at the same time, they have not been playing well recently. And I know scrims are scrims, and I say it all the time, and I stand by it. But when you're a team that is fighting to try to be even a top 8 team, that practice matters. Okay? And they have not been doing well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. Now, the reason I say that I was fighting with myself on whether to put them in the third place team or the second place team in this pool is because, spoiler alert, when you see the predictions for the rest of how the bracket shapes out, I don't think either team goes far at all anyway. So in this case, it kind of felt like a potato situation where I don't fucking care who I pick at this time. Neither of them are going to make it very far.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then FaZe or FaZe. So that's kind of obvious. Moving on to Pool B. Will, we're locked up again.
What do you know? Optic in first, Pure with Druck, I believe, has the chance to hop into that second place. Followed by Into the Breach, and then whatever open bracket team gets here.
Yeah, so for me, again, the open bracket team that is going into Pool B is also coming from losers on the open side. And the fact that Into the Breach are already over here and they're already boot camping and everything, I think they're going to come in ready to go. They had an abysmal performance in London. So I don't expect like a massive, I'm not saying they're fucking making top 6 or shit like that. Okay. Let's be realistic here, but I don't think they're going to make top 12.
Yeah.
Okay. Or actually, do I have them making top 12? I might. Either way, like, I don't think they're just going to get knocked out immediately. So I think they're going to come out with a little more fire, a little more passion, if you will.
Ooh, passion.
Yes. And then, Will, here's the tough one. On paper, you and I, we put Pure here in second place easy. No questions asked. On paper. But we had this happen before. Will Druck be able to compete in the States?
He's scrimming right now, so.
But he scrimmed before Arlington.
I know.
He hasn't been on a flight yet.
That's the big question is Druck going to be let in? And if not, Native gets that spot. I would flip Native into third, possibly. Maybe even fourth. I don't know. But Druck is a beast. He's an animal. He's so good at the game that him being on that team puts him in second here.
He's the X factor on that team.
Yeah.
If he competes, this is an easy prediction in my mind. If he doesn't compete, they're more than likely going to lose that pool play spot again. And then we have a whole other conversation. So these, for the record, again, predictions don't fucking mean anything, but the fact that we do them kind of, means a little bit. We are making these predictions with the thought process that Druck will be competing at this event.
100%.
If Druck is not competing in this event, obviously this pool will be different. Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I see a lot of people in chat talking about how well Breach did, even though they lost those games, taking Shopify to game 5 and things like that. But it's,
that was match 1 of the tournament in pool play.
Right. So they do have some skill. And while I'm hoping they improved over the last 2 months, I just don't see them beating Optic or Pure here.
Yeah. Ruby, who gets into pools if Druck can't play? Whatever team has the most points, I think is
got confirmation that it is Native Gaming.
Yep.
Who's next up.
There you go.
So again, Native could be gifted a pool play spot for the third major in a row.
Yep. So it's, like I said, this is really tough because, again, we're making the predictions with the thought in mind that Druck is competing. But if he doesn't compete, then obviously it shakes everything up.
Yeah.
And then our predictions are always wrong as they always continue to be, and we just move on, right?
Yep.
All right. Riz says, I just want Native to play an open. I think it'll be good for them. Will's been agreeing with that, and I've been agreeing with that. Yeah. They need it. They fucking need it. All right. Dumpy with the 25-month resub. You get a woo! Thank you so much for the resub. Welcome back. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Moving on to Pool C. Pool C. Ladies and gentlemen, Will and I, same predictions again, baby!
Damn, we are 12 for 12 so far.
And again, just for people who don't know, we don't talk about our predictions beforehand.
Yeah, we do these separately.
Yes. We both do our own research into this. We both do our own predictions, and then we just have the template ready, and then we just insert them before the show. So we do not look at these ahead of time, or we do not know them ahead of time for each individual. Go ahead, Will. What are your thoughts on these guys?
Yeah, Shopify, right? They are solidified as the 4th place team right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have them taking this pool. Behind them, Sentinels. I love the way Lethal and Sentinels have been coming together and the way they've been playing. Following, I have Cloud9 and then open bracket team, which you put as Alpha Esports.
So
you think this is where they're going?
So here's my thing, is that in pools C and D, the teams that make it out of open bracket from the winner's side get placed in these pools. And using the mock bracket that Ash had made, when I looked at it, I'm like, I could see Alpha being one of them coming from the winner's side. And then, spoiler alert from when we get to it, but I have Native Gaming going in Pool D if Druck is able to compete, and Native would be coming out of the winner's side as well.
Yeah, that's the only one that I thought that Native would for sure go to Pool D.
Exactly. So that's the way that I was looking at it. So I just added the Alpha there just in case. You know, if I were to put a team there that made it from the open bracket side on winners based off how the bracket would go, that's who I would put there.
Sure.
So.
And C9 does have that randomness to them where they can pick it up, but I don't know. I think Sentinels take it this time.
Yeah, I don't think they're as good as Sentinels. I just don't. And like I think this is the biggest opportunity that they have to cause an upset because they stuck together. Holy shit, crazy to fucking think about. But no, the fact that they stuck together, I love teams that do that. It allows them to get more practice in, get the vibes in check. Love that. So the fact that they did stick together, like, makes me put more confidence into a Cloud9 to cause an upset. But frankly, I think Sentinels are just the better team at this point in time.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I could see Cloud9 upsetting Sentinels. I could also see the open bracket team upsetting Cloud9.
Yep, absolutely. It depends on what Cloud9 you get. Yeah. But then also I think Shopify being first in this pool, I know people look at that Sentinel Shopify. But like you said, Will, I think Shopify are solidified as the fourth place team right now. And yeah, I think Sentinels are going to have to prove to me that they can, you know, upset them.
Sure.
So that's the way I'm looking at it right now. And now for Pool D.
If we're the same here too.
Almost.
Oh, we're not. Whoa.
Almost. Go ahead. Give me your thought process on this first.
All right. SSG in first, no question. I would have thought more about Quadrant if they were against Optic. They seem to have Optic's number at time, right? So I think SSG takes it against Quadrant. The legend grab for them off that team, I think, gives them the edge. I put Quadrant in second. I think that based on who's in this bracket or in this pool, Bittersweet and Native, if Native win, come in out of winners, who knows if they're going to fumble in the open bracket, you know?
Mm-hmm.
You never know. You never know. Anything can happen.
You never know.
Native in third, and that might be some hopium. And I got Bittersweet in fourth.
So this was another one that I struggled with internally, whether or not to put Native Gaming in fourth or Bittersweet in fourth. I think the reason I put Bittersweet, aka Incognito, in third is because Native haven't proven to me at all that they can do something. They just haven't. Like maybe if they have to compete through open now, like maybe they're able to, you know, get that practice in and actually do something.
Yeah. And like the last major, they had that crazy 3-way tie.
Yep.
In that pool. So anything can happen there.
And that came down to Into the Breach being 3-0'd by SWAT Esports.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would have been Native that were out.
Yep.
So again, it's another team that has to prove it to me, man. And this is like, we don't have a lot to base this off of, you know, because Mikwin retiring, they pick up tapping buttons from that SWAT Esports, from that Alpha Esports roster. And let's see if they're able to gel finally on LAN. But then, you know, Incognito, they placed better than Native did in that qualifier. And I know it was only an online thing, but that's kind of what we have to go off of right now. Like, again, this is another potato situation where regardless of the team that makes it fourth or third, regardless of the team that makes third in this pool, I don't have them going far. So I really, you know, it's a toss up for who gets knocked out earlier in the tournament, I guess. But Quadrant, again, I put a lot more stock into them. They're over here now, just like Into the Breach is. They're boot camping. They were literally, I don't know if they are right now against Optic still, but they were earlier today. Like, they're boots on the ground in the States, and I'm, hell yeah. I think they have a bone to pick with SSG. You know? So
Sure.
we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But SSG are clearly the best team in this pool. It's not even a question. And then the other thing I want to add is that when we get to our actual predictions here, or maybe I should, you know what? I'll save that thought. Let's move on to the actual predictions here, okay? So into the placings. Oh, did not mean to do that. There we go. So obviously this makes sense if you've been paying attention to what we were talking about. Will, the only difference that we have between 13th and 16th is that you have Bittersweet taking 13th or 16th while I have Native Gaming or the open bracket team that's in that pool. Everything else seems kind of self-explanatory. Moving on. Ninth through 12th. Again, the only difference that we have here is that you have Native Gaming, just making it one step further. Instead of top 16, they take top 12. Where me, instead of Native Gaming, it's going to be Bittersweet. But again, I could flip-flop those.
Sure.
Sound pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. These are the teams that go right into the loser's bracket, right?
Correct.
Based on their pool placing, and that's, yeah.
Correct. So now, in 7th and 8th, we both have Pure and we both have Complexity.
Yeah. I wanted to put Pure higher, but it came down to who they would meet in the bracket along the way.
Correct. Same here.
And personally, I don't think Complexity can beat the teams in the top 6 right now.
Nope. So just as a heads up, this is one that I really struggled with as well, Will. You see that I have Bittersweet 9th through 12th. Right?
Yeah.
In my bracket prediction, like in my mock bracket that I have Complexity going up against Bittersweet in losers round 1. In my opinion, that's a toss-up. Complexity have yet to prove to me that with the roster changes that they've made that they're going to gel. And I know scrims are scrims, but when you're a team that's trying to fight for a top 8 placing, the practice matters and your results have been abysmal.
Yeah, I kind of feel like a few members on Complexity are better. They're better on LAN than they are on line case.
Sure. And I can respect that.
So that's like where my idea of them getting, I mean, we have them in the same place, but.
Yep. And the reason why I give them this very, very ever so slight edge is that they did win that qualifier.
Sure.
They won the qualifier. Incognito, aka Bittersweet, were also in that qualifier, and they did not win. So, and again, the thing that we need to keep in mind is that if Complexity did not win, they needed to win that qualifier. If they did not win it, they would be playing through open bracket. So the fact that they did what they needed to do and they won the fucking thing, regardless of it being online, the stakes were naturally higher because it was the qualifier which determined whether or not you get a pool play spot.
Yeah.
They did what needed to be done. Incognito at that time, now Bittersweet, did not. The other thing to keep in mind is that those teams did not play each other in that qualifier. Okay? They did not play each other in the qualifier. So again, this is one that could be a toss-up to me, but I'm just going to give that ever so slight upper hand to Complexity here in that matchup that I have hypothetically even fucking happening. Who knows if it's actually going to happen based off of pools. Udor, thank you for the 2-month resub. You get greatly appreciated. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And Alpha Numeric Spam, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Thank you so much. All right. Moving on. Actually, Will, before we actually move on, I would just want to say this real quick too. You said based off of how your bracket shaped out, this is why you have Pure in 7th and 8th, and you wish that they'd be higher.
Yeah.
The way that I have it going out, I have them playing against Sentinels, and I have them losing that matchup. So,
yeah.
But yeah, if it was any of those other, outside of top 4, top 6 teams, then obviously we'd have them up more, but it is what it is. But speaking go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I wanted to put Pure higher, but then once I had them in the 5th, 6th spot, but once I fleshed out that bracket some more, I was like, wait a second. I had to rethink that.
Yep. I agree. But speaking of Sentinels, we have Sentinels and Quadrant together. We have them in 5th and 6th place. Will, anything you want to mention here?
No, this just solely comes down to who's in the top 4. These teams are close, but not there yet, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I will say Quadrant does give Optic some troubles every now and then, but I think this is where these teams will land.
Well, I have them in the same spot, so I think the same way as you do. All right. But here's where we have a little bit of a shakeup, Will.
Yeah.
Our top 4 placings, obviously we typed these in before the show, so we've seen each other's predictions at this point in time. Our top 4...
And, anyone who listened to Off the Rails...
Yeah.
I may have had a change of heart here, as Josh put it, or just... I don't know.
The funny thing is that you had a change of heart and then you made your prediction, and then based off of our conversation before the show, it sounded like you were going to have a secondary change of heart after that. But that's okay. We'll talk about it. So we're going to break this down. We're going to break this down place by place. So let's kick things off with our 4th place predictions, Will. You have SSG. I have Shopify.
Yeah. I think Shopify are built to beat SSG. I think their play style is gonna show some things here. You got people. Shopify pushes. They just keep moving forward, and Bound and Legend are flyers as well, and they keep getting caught out. And that was, the last tournament, that's what costed them. That Bound and Legend just kept going, and I feel like they weren't playing well as a team, or they got themselves into spots where the team couldn't help. So maybe that's been corrected. Maybe it hasn't. But gut feeling, I have Shopify taking SSG out.
So scrims don't matter. Hopefully people understand that at this point in time, especially when we're talking about the top teams. But if you want to know a fun fact, 2 teams that have not scrimmed each other since London, if I'm not mistaken, was Shopify and SSG.
Mm-hmm.
So I have Shopify in 4th because I do think SSG are better. Pharaoh brought up a good point. Said, they 3-0'd SSG last time. Looked easy. The same exact thing that I said about FaZe, and then they come back and they win London, and they had a pretty bad fucking performance for their expectations in Arlington. It's the same way I feel about Space Station in London. Something felt off. Something felt off. I don't know how to explain it, but it felt off. It didn't feel like the SSG that we're used to. So I think they make a good bounce back here. Clearly, I have them in the top 3. We'll get to where I have them in a little bit. But I think SSG have a good bounce back for this event. And because of that, and because I think Optic and FaZe are just better as of right now, that's why I have Shopify taking fourth. But the thing that I've respected about Shopify, event after event after event, online open after online open after online open, is that they are putting the work in. And that does not go unnoticed. I promise you that. But the other thing that I understand is that other teams are putting in work too. And I know for a fact Space Station are pissed at what happened at London. Josh just wants the free SSG merch. I don't think they're going to win. I'll say that right now. I don't think SSG win the event. I'm not going to say no to free merch. So yeah, there's that. Moving on to our top three, Will. You have Shopify Rebellion. I have Optic Gaming.
Yeah. So based on my bracket, this is where I think Shopify run into Optic or FaZe winner semis, right?
Yep.
They get dropped down for that fourth place match, go against SSG, and then based on my next prediction here, that team that drops out of winners finals beats Shopify for third place to go into the grand finals.
I have Optic here. And frankly, my prediction kind of has nothing to do with scrim results. Again, because I don't give a shit about scrims. I know if you go look at them, they're bad. I understand that. And Kant's in the chat brings up a good point that we've been chatting about offline for a little while, as well as that. Kant says, I can easily see Optic having a bad for them placing. Their headspace seems terrible to me right now.
Yeah, I agree. How much do I say here? The streams seem lackluster in their enthusiasm or passion, if you will.
Sure.
We get a lot of complaining from certain members. Other members are it just doesn't seem like it's taken seriously all the time. But then again, that is on stream, not all the background work we see with VOD review and what else they're doing.
Exactly.
But I would say vibes seem off heavy. And then Tyler and I were in a chat one day and watching that invitational, the Send Throwdown invitational.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to just straight up throw shade, but Lucid's comms were a little off at times.
Okay.
In my opinion, and Tyler's opinion as well. Sorry, Tyler, for airing this out, but
how dare you?
I know there was some calls that just it was the way it was put. It was interesting because like Lucid was play calling, but some of the phrasing could have been better said. Fifth Amendment, perfect. Where like Lucid in this situation, both teams needed just a little bit of ball time, right? Oddball streets. And Lucid called, we need to kill the spawners.
Mm-hmm.
When really Optic just needed to dive on the ball to get their last like 6-7 seconds, right? So the team then gets kind of caught in this weird space between the ball and the spawners, and they go 4 down, and the enemy team takes the ball and gets their last 10-12 seconds and wins the game, when it felt like more of a hunker down situation needed to happen. And I'm not a pro player, right? But it was weird because the ball was towards Optic. They could have easily grabbed it, brought it back into sub on streets, and just held it down instead of trying to slay.
Sure.
And it would have won them the round. I don't know if it was for round 3 or what. It was at least round 2 because the enemy team ended up winning the full game, not just the round.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just want people to understand that I have them placing lower than Will does.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just make sure people understand that.
It feels off.
I agree.
Right? But
I agree.
I've also seen them perform at LAN. I mean, they're on a second place streak, right?
Yep.
And Josh, you said something that kind of earlier in the week, or I guess late in last week.
It's the thing that bit me in the ass.
Yeah, when they seemed to be at their worst
last year,
they flipped it and did they win that event?
Yep.
Yeah, they won an event.
And what did I say, Will, after that happened?
Never count Optic out again.
I will never count them out again.
So that's kind of why I have them where I have them, and that's why Shopify's here for me.
Absolutely. Real quick, I want to comment on what Onset is saying. I can see complexity being outside top 8. Agreed. Onset, I talked about it earlier. Like, the way I look at it is, for me personally, it's a toss-up between complexity and bittersweet. I have them playing each other in the bracket in losers. And for me, it's a toss-up. The only reason why I'm giving complexity the very slight edge is because they won the qualifier. And Incognito was in the same tournament. Granted, they didn't play each other, but it's such a fucking toss-up. I could definitely see them being top 12.
Yeah. Soon says Weekend Formal can always lock in to an insane level regardless of context. One of the biggest LAN monsters. Yeah, and if you look at their scrims, and as Josh says, scrims aren't everything, but you can get some things out of them. If you look at that tournament, I'm seeing Formal being a slayer, top damage on the team constantly.
Yeah.
Right place, right time. I don't think it's Formal at this point. Even though his interest level seems low, I think something else is not clicking. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, maybe it's the online stuff that is really bothering them. When they get to LAN, it's all
business.
It's all business. Pedal to the metal.
Yep.
Optics back, and then someone brought up, do you think there's any pressure with the COD win? Josh and I mentioned this a little bit earlier today too. I hope that Formal sees that win. He was there.
I don't think Lucid was there. Just real quick, I don't think Lucid was there, but 3 out of the 4 of the Optic players were there at COD finals.
Yeah. I hope it just lights a fire for man, I want that win. I want that glory again. Formal could also be thinking, man, I can't wait to get back to COD,
Yeah.
Because of that excitement that LAN brought for that COD team. So we'll see what happens.
So again, just want the records to show here that Will has Optic placing better than I do in Atlanta. So all that aside, this is the point that Will, when you said this, what the thing that bit me in the ass so long ago, and the reason why I said I will never count them out ever again, is that even though I have them in 3rd for this event, if it is literally any given weekend, any given Sunday, if one team just comes out hotter than the other, they're the top 3 for a fucking reason. Any one of these teams, if they're hot at the right time, can win the event. Just because Optic is having bad scrim placings doesn't mean they don't have the opportunity to win the whole fucking thing. Because they do. And the only reason why I have them in 3rd, because I don't want people to think like this is some wild fucking speculation, right? Just because I have them in third place. The reason I have them in third is because I think Space Station are going to make a jump from London, where in my mind, they did not play to their expectations. And then FaZe are fucking FaZe. Like, what are we... I'm sick of this conversation about how, Formal's checked out. He's fucking leaving, blah, blah, blah. Guys, the season's not fucking over yet. You think he's going to leave his teammates high and fucking dry? No. You don't think he wants to win anymore? Are you kidding me?
On a lighter note, Onset says in chat, quad phase final, fuck it. EU wins, I get naked and presumably fired. I want to see you streak the stage like a football match, just
I'll sign a petition I'll sign a petition so you don't get fired.
Yeah. Clothes flying as you enter the stage, just back and forth, security's coming at you. Take off into the distance.
No snag, glaze up. Optic beating FaZe and SSG in tournament play this year. Exactly. Literally, yeah. It is any given tournament. It is any given Sunday. Seriously, okay, we're just going to move to our fucking second place pick here because we're just going to be talking about these exact same teams.
Yep.
You have Optic taking second. I have SSG taking second. Again, I just want to get this point out real quick, Will, before you talk about Optic. If you want to talk about them further. The reason why I have SSG over Optic here is because, again, you go back and you watch London, SSG did not look like we know them to be. It just felt fucking weird. It felt the same way to me as FaZe did in Arlington, where yes, FaZe got third, right? But it was a fucking weird way to get third place in that event. And that was not something you'd expect out of the previous world champions. And what did they do? They came back and they won the next event. I don't think SSG will come back and win this one, but I think they'll be fucking better than what we saw at last event. So, yeah, I have SSG second here. And I think they're going to, while I don't think they'll win, I think they'll ride that momentum into SLC.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I can see it. Second, I have Optic. And that kind of, you can tell who's our first place team here. Josh and I have the same. But I think they just
reveal it now, huh?
Just reveal it. Yeah, might as well. I think the FaZe monster's too strong right now. I think they're clicking, firing on all cylinders. I think they have what it takes. I think they take it home.
Now, real quick, because like I said, I do not watch other people's predictions before making my own. I'll make my own first based off the research that I do and then go back and check and see what other people are talking about. And I did the same thing. If Onset's still here, like I said earlier, I did the same thing for the narrative. Shout out the narrative, by the way. Make sure you go follow them. And watching Onset do his little interview with Frosty, Onset said it perfectly. It's really fucking hard to go back to back. And we could just sit here and we make our predictions. They don't necessarily mean anything and it's kind of for fun. But at the same time, it's like, it's things you need to think about. It is really fucking hard to go back to back. But you know a core group who have done it countless times?
These guys.
It's these guys. And again, I want people to understand this. They are the top three for a reason. Any one of these three teams, and I mean it, I don't think Shopify are there yet. And I've said it countless times. I'll say it again. I just don't think they're there yet. But Optic, SSG, and FaZe, they've all won previously. They could all win again. Onset, it's exactly like you said in the video as well. They need to learn how to Sunday. They're just not there yet for Shopify. And it's nothing against them. They have unbelievable talent on that roster. They have championship pedigree talent on that roster. But they're just not there yet. Will smacks the mic. But Optic, SSG, and FaZe in any order, they've won previously. They can win again. And Will and I just believe FaZe are going to be the ones to do it this time. Here's some stats from London for you. It says Onset suppresses best KD in top 8 teams, cycles best plus damage differential in top 8. That's awesome. That is awesome. The other thing too, I think I was looking this up earlier. I'm going to do this on the fly, so I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, but just please bear with me here. Loading it up. So the other thing to keep in mind here, like we talk about Optic and everybody trying to create these fucking storylines of maybe Formal's 1 foot out the door, or like, you know, fucking they're doing poor online, blah, blah, blah. They're just not in it anymore, blah, 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 blah. Based off of Halo Data Hive here, and I'm just looking at London. Okay, just looking at London. Optic were first in kills. We're first in kills per game. We're first in assists per game, first in total damage, and first in total damage per game. They still got it. Where's Mind Freak? I'm sorry, Scoob. We don't need to talk about it right now. It's okay. It's okay. Disrespect my Aussie brothers. Hey, Onset, you know what? Do you have, Onset, do you have this? Do you have this? Are you ready? I don't think so. We have this. We've been standing
Oh, gosh.
for the longest fucking time. All right, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
We need like WWE entrances for these rosters and that to be Mind Freak's entrance.
Please. Oh my God. Scoob, obviously we're wishing you guys the best. And the other thing too, I want to give a shout out to Scoob, and I want to give a shout out to Mind Freak, because Scoob, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you guys are also all in the States now, correct? I believe you were all in the States now? Getting the boot camp on? At least I hope you are.
Blackout. Josh has been on hour-long rants and doesn't lose the voice. We're fine.
Oh, yeah. The only opportunity, and Will understands this too, the only opportunity that I have to actually lose my voice is directly after a major.
Oh, yeah.
So like the live show, wait till next week. Wait till next week on Monday. I've literally, as long as no delays happen, fucking, that's a whole other thing we never talked about. As long as delays don't happen, because I am flying with Delta, and I get back here at my normal time on Monday and we do the live show on Monday, be prepared for that, because that might be a different story in terms of my voice. But no, a normal day today, I could do this all fucking day. Come on now. Come on now. Scoop says, finally scrimming after not doing so for 2 months. Get that practice in, man. Get that fucking practice in. I have a gift for you if you lose your voice. Seriously, let me know. I have a cure-all. I appreciate that. I will let you know. Death, taxes, and Josh is yelling. Inevitable. It's not yelling, PD. It's passion. Straight passion, baby. Alamarsh says, FaZe and Shopify final. Shopify wins. Mental cements himself as one of the best esports players ever. I just don't think it's time. I love the passion. I love the optimism. And frankly, if that did happen, holy shit, that'd be amazing. I just don't think so yet.
Speaking of, buying all the merch earlier, Josh.
Yeah.
Passion United's got a line coming out soon.
We're going to shout the fuck out of it. We're going to shout it the fuck out.
Yeah. Keep tuned, everyone. I got a little preview.
I'm gonna go back to cams. Okay, Will.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we're back on cams.
And just fucking wait, people. Just wait.
Did the Instinct SSG merch drop yet? No, it did not, Verb. No, it did not. It'll be in Atlanta. If you were attending live at the event, you can get that Space Station and Instinct hoodie. And then online orders will be available at some point in time. We don't know when. Worlds then? I need to be proven otherwise, Alamarch. Like, this is going to sound like the dumbest fucking statement, but hear me out. This is another instance of, do I want to say this or do I not want to say this? There have been teams, and I'm not looping Shopify into this. I think Shopify have a real opportunity to do something because they've proven that they are a great team. Okay? They are. Do I think they have the ability to win yet? No. With that said, there have been teams in the past who have been blessed by brackets before. Okay? And again, I'm not saying that Shopify is one of them. Shopify have had to fight for all of their wins. Okay? Go back and look. But if Shopify were to win an event, I would want to see them go through 2 of the top 3 teams because that's what's going to have to happen. I don't think you're going to be able to play all 3 of the top 3 teams to do it. Unless the pools work that way or whatever. But like, I want you to be able to go through 2 of those top 3 teams at their best. That's what I want to see. And I haven't seen it yet. And if somebody wants to say, oh, they got 3rd at London, they beat Space Station. I don't think that was Space Station at their best. I just don't. They looked off to me. Just like FaZe did in Arlington. They looked off. I could be completely wrong. My predictions are mostly always wrong. Except my Worlds predictions. I always get those right, apparently. Onset says, who makes a final first? Shopify, Rebellion, or Quadrant? Oh, Shopify. Yeah. Now I sound like an asshole to Quadrant fans. Like, I don't mean to sound like an asshole to Quadrant fans, but no, it's got to be Shopify.
Yeah. That Spara asked, like, rough estimate on merch. I would say, like, shirts can be anywhere from, like, 25, 35.
Hoodies around 60 to 70.
Yep. And then there's other, like, small stuff, too. They might have, like, I've seen SSG have mouse pads. I've seen the arm bands or arm sleeves. Those can go anywhere from 10 to 15, depending on where you get them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was trying to think of other things.
Looked like I had a ghost in your room or something.
All right, I was trying to see what I could see in my peripherals here.
It's okay.
You can buy an SSG chain for $100.
Guys, look who I have behind me. Like, I have faith in Quadrant, but like, you know, I see the Shopify jersey. That's what I really need.
Hats? I don't think I see a lot of hats at events.
No, a couple, like FaZe have had hats in the past. HCS, if they have a booth, they typically have a hat or 2 to pick from. But yeah, not a ton of hats going around. Optic, if they have a booth, they may have 1. Yeah, not a ton of hats.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll have lanyards? Some do. Some do. Not all the time, but some do. Josh, fashion. What's up?
I was gonna say, if SSG has a keycap, I need the keycaps.
I'll get it for you.
I'm collecting them.
I'll get all little freebies
all around the board here.
I'll get all the little freebies for you. Don't you worry. Fashion, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. And then again, I don't fucking care about scrim results. Verb, if they can transition it to LAN performance, then fuck yeah. But I don't fucking care about scrim results. But yeah, Onset, to answer your question, personally, if it was up to the 2 teams, I think Shopify would make a final before Quadrant. just strictly based off of previous matchups. I mean, Onset, you'd know more than I would in this regard, but like, when was the last, I mean, fuck, like, when was the last time Quadrant ever played against a FaZe or an SSG? Yes, they did play at London, though. SSG and Quadrant did. I remember that. And that was the first reverse sweep, if I'm not mistaken. Or it's the second one. Because they reverse swept Sentinels as well. They threw versus SSG. But again, I just can't get it out of my head that I feel like SSG did not play to their potential in London. And I'm never going to take, and I say this all the time, I'm never going to take a win away from a team. And yes, Quadrant had a very, very close series with them. I need to be true to myself. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I just feel like they did not play to their potential. And if we, and I, not to play fucking what ifs, but I ain't going to. What if SSG were playing at their top and then we see a different matchup happen between Quadrant and SSG in London? Yes, Quadrant would have the crowd behind them, maybe a little bit for Legend, but I just don't see it being as close. So with that in mind, yeah, I just think it would have to be Shopify. Yeah. So Onset, let me ask you, if you're willing to divulge, I know you guys only did your top placing in the narrative preview. If you're willing to humor me and humor the show, what would be your top 4? I know you guys both had FaZe winning. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that video, go watch that video, by the way. Please do. It's really, really good. They have FaZe winning the event like we do. Who do you have the top 4? Do you have a bracket to throw up? Do you want like a mock bracket to throw up? Because I have that. Yeah? All right. Sounds good. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to literally do this on the fucking fly. I'm going to, guys, this is, you guys have never,
Josh's predicted.
you have never seen this before, but I promise this is what I do for every event. This is, in fact, my completed mock bracket for the event.
Love that confidence, Rice. Let's go.
Live prediction. It is. I mean, I just gave my prediction. There it is. Rice, fuck yeah, dude. Get it. All right, give me 1 second. I have to make this full screen. You want to talk through this? All right, fuck yeah, dude. Onset, you want to get on a Discord call real quick?
Yeah. Josh fired up.
Let's do it. Oh, fuck. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Onset live on the show. Was not expecting this at all. So what I'm going to do is, because it's going to fuck with the video, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go to the bracket that I have. I'm going to make it full screen so you guys can see what it is. And I guess we'll just go from there. So let me do that first, and then I can take us off of the cam. Perfect. And then I can add Onset. Are we currently friends on Discord? I do not know if we are or not. I do not know if we are. Saw Josh's ears. I mean, you can. I have nothing to hide. Ping me on Twitter. My Discord is just Onset, so just add. All right, sounds good. Give me 1 second, and I'll do that real quick. Oh, that's what I thought. We already are friends because we interviewed you a long fucking time ago. That's exactly what I fucking
5 years
thought.
ago?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. That's exactly what I fucking thought. Like, yeah, we're already friends. Okay. Appreciate everything I'll do for the scene. How old are you guys, and did either of you compete? Neither of us competed. We're both 32 years old, and we just love talking about the scene that we all love and enjoy. And thank you for being here. Greatly appreciated.
Josh, you competed.
Shut up. It did not. I fucking got double first rounded in fucking open bracket in Raleigh. It was a nightmare. I'm not a competitor. I love talking about this shit because we love the scene. But no, I'm not.
Ronan's right. We competed yesterday, man.
We did compete yesterday and again proceeded to get fucking stomped. All right, give me a second. I'm going to step away so I can get Onset on the call.
All right. But we tried. Yeah, I know, Blackout. We're old. Don't remind me. You get to 30, things just start hurting randomly.
Yo, yo.
Mr. Marky Mark in the chat.
Hey, gentlemen, how we doing?
Hey.
Great. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm excited, as you can tell. I'm kind of like, I've got to stay awake for like another 3 hours before I set off for travel, and like the excitement is now growing. You know, it's so listening to you guys has been the perfect tonic to set me up.
Oh, you're far too kind. We love you.
Right. Let me start by opening the pools because I'm going to do this. I need to do this properly now. I've become obsessive about it. Okay. So I presume that with your pool picks here, you've gone with everybody being top seed. Top seed going through in first, right? And
Yes.
The second seed's going through in second. Okay. I would agree with that, although I will say that Rebellion Sentinel series could be one of the biggest series that we've seen in quite some time for who places better and who has a good tournament and who has a bad tournament. Because I think that is a super tight one. And I could say the same about Space Station Quadrant because it's the first series of the tournament. And I'm a little bit split on that one, depending on how game one goes. Because Space Station have historically started slow and kind of picked up steam. And I think Quadrant are going to be fired up for that. But I will say I think Space Station take it.
I think we do have Pure taking it over Breach.
You have Pure taking it over into the Breach. Okay.
I do, yes.
That again, I mean, I will say, with all due respect to Bonton, that we have some of the craziest pool play games we're going to see in quite some time. I even look at Cloud9, man. Cloud9 have upset a lot of teams. Took FaZe to game 5 in London. Like, they, you know, they're a crazy team as well. But I will agree with you for your predictions. I think ITB beat Pure.
Wow.
Yep.
Now we're keeping in mind here, like, our predictions are based off of that Druck competes in North America. That is what we are basing these predictions off of.
Otherwise, that would be native, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
In which case, I have into the breach over native.
But
yeah.
So I can't express, and like a lot of people say, like, you know, Quadrant and ITB are boot camping, and that's great. They're going to be ready for the tournament. But I can't express like how important it is for the development of both of those teams for a number of reasons, which is why I'm talking about Space Station Quadrant maybe being a little bit closer than people realize, ITB Pure being maybe an ITB series, is because it's not just like, there's a couple of things, right? There's the, should we say, the physical preparation of like, you're playing against good players that you haven't played very often. You get used to game plans, you get used to game styles of different teams that you're going to play in tournament, et cetera, and you get to learn some things and raise your game. The other one is the big mental hurdle that you overcome where you play a team after team after team, day after day, sometimes double scrimming, and you stop looking at the names that you're playing and you start playing against 4 Spartans because it's just another team that you're playing. And I think for teams like ITB and Quadrant, it's a really big mental thing to get through. And I think the Quadrant did it last year. I think ITB, you got to remember there's some young kids on that team still. There's a lot of players. There's obviously Jim kind of makes up for that. God bless him. But there's a lot of kind of focus of, oh my God, we're playing Optic, that disappears to, we know what we want to do on the map. So I think that's why boot camps are so important for them. And I think it's, that's why I kind of feel like coming into this event, I think London was a massive shit show for them. And I think they would understand that as well. And I think they're going to come back here realizing that they've got to perform. So I think that series, even if Druck is there, will be very close. But it's also very game type dependent as well, I will say. And I actually have the game types. I had the game types. Hold up. So I can even give you, as I told you I was going to get deep into this. By the way, how long have you got?
As much time as you want.
Okay, I had the game types. 20 info. Okay, so against Pure, they play Interference Strongholds, flip a coin. Whoever gets the first 4 dead probably wins that. Streets Slayer, Empyrean Capture the Flag, Recharge Oddball. Now, I can't speak too much about Pure's game types. Interference Strongholds, I think, is anyone could win. Honestly, I think the game type is not in a good place. It's a game type which is now 150-point runs versus 150-point runs. Street Slayer game 2 is a slower Slayer, which could favor ITB a little bit, I would say. Although, again, it's a bit of a 50-50. Empyrean CTF, I know ITB are very good at it. And if they get to game 4, I think they have a chance of winning the series, ITB, because their oddball is phenomenal now. And they have been boot camping against some of the best teams in the world, and I think they've won pretty much every single oddball they've played. So that would be my only thing, although I 100% understand why you would go with Pure if they have Druck. Okay, let's do bracket. Basically, it's a long way of me saying I agree with you.
No,
I could have just said that.
I love the confidence that you have into the breach. My reasoning as to why personally I wouldn't have them beating Pure is because it's going to sound stupid, but I need to see it happen. Like, I need to see these things happen before I can be like, oh, Shopify or solidified top 3. It's one of those types of situations.
I 100% agree, and I think that out of all the teams at the tournament, ITB need to prove themselves again.
Yeah.
I think top 6 was great, well done, but the fact that they then dropped down to top 12, and it's like, oh my God, like, okay, where are you? How good actually are you? So I 100% get that. All right, winners quarters, FaZe beat Pure, agree. Space Station Sentinels, Space Station should win it, and I think Space Station are going to come into this tournament being very, very, very pissed off.
Agreed.
Shopify Quadrant. Oh my God. What a series that could be.
Do you want to look at the series layout for that one too?
If there's King of the Hills in it, then I'm worried for Quadrant because they've not been great at King of the Hill, and Shopify are very good at it.
Let's see. Winners quarters would be Argyle CTF, Aquarius Slayer for game 2.
King of the Hill.
Yeah, there's no King of the Hill.
Strongholds. Okay.
We know how good Quadrant is in Strongholds.
Yeah, I also know how bad they've been at oddball. So it's one of those again. Oh my God, that is a tough series to split, man. That is the biggest 50-50 series I've seen in quite some time.
Now remember,
come down to the Slayers,
and this is bracket play now. This isn't pool play anymore.
Yeah. And one thing I will say for Quadrant with their boot camps is when we get through the normal North American scrim, which is we play all the objectives and we get to the end, right? They're always like, can we play some Slayers? Because I think they understand that for them to win some series and get deep into this tournament, they're going to have to win some game 5s. So I think they're really trying to put that practice in. And I'm not saying that Shopify aren't, obviously they will be as well. And they've been, I think they were, I think Quadrant in London were the best Slayer team. And Shopify Rebellion were the second. I'm pretty sure that's just off of some prep I was looking at. That might be a little bit off, but I'm pretty sure they were like the top 2 for Slayers, which makes it even more difficult to split. Wow. Honestly,
now,
I can't even get through this bracket.
Let me ask you this. Mark. When we talk about like a team being best in Slayers or a team being second best in Slayers for a tournament, are we also including like the variance of the degree of difficulty of the team that you're facing, how long you're within the tournament versus like for how many series you're playing. Do you see where I'm getting at too?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I usually try and like look at the stats from a certain round for certain teams. That's why when I like look at the suppressed stats, I'm like he had the best KD in the tournament out of the players in the top 8. Cause I think that's like gives it some context, right? Cause if you go down to losers bracket and with all due respect, some of the opens teams, you're probably going to boost your stats up a bit. So 100% we get where you're coming from there. And I think that is an overall tournament stat, the Slayer one. So I think to give it some context, like maybe it does kind of bloat Quadrant Slayer a little bit, I would say. But most importantly, they lost the important one, right? They lost against SSG in that game 5. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I don't like this idea anymore. I regret doing this. This is tough.
Well, you put yourself on the spot too. You know what I mean?
This is like, I don't know, like walking off a ledge and then blaming someone else for it.
No, again, these are based like this bracket is based off of my personal predictions. So it might not be the same for everybody out there.
I will. So my worry is at the moment, there's the top 3, right?
Yes.
Which everybody knows. But that chasing pack is, I don't think we've ever had a chasing pack like this in Halo.
We haven't.
Like, it is every series, like, is so close and is so difficult to call. Like, I can 100% understand why you're putting Shopify there. And they have no reason not to be there, but I think we'll go with this, right? I'll go with Shopify going through. I will agree with you, but a lot of this bracket would be completely different, and I think my prediction would be very different, dependent upon the result between SSG and Quadrant Impulse. If it's a very close series, which is like a game 5 or whatever between the two, then I start to think Quadrant might have a chance of going through. But I will go Shopify. Optic Complexity. I'm worried about Complexity.
Same.
Genuinely worried.
Yep.
They have barely won a game in Scrims. And yes, Scrims is online. Yes, Scrims is Scrims. But there needs to be more from them. So yeah, I will agree with you. But I would have typed in Shopify and Quadrant about 5 times in that box and deleted them and rewritten it about 6 or 7 different times. Okay. Winners finals, FaZe Optic, FaZe for me. I think FaZe as long as FaZe are putting in the work, which they are, I think they're the team to beat here. So yeah, I completely get why you would have them there. Can you just scroll down a little bit so I can see loser's side?
Absolutely.
Oh my, wait, now I want Quadrant. I'm not going to say Quadrant to lose. Now I want
you do.
to go through because I want the Quadrant ITB series that we were deprived of in London.
Yep.
Completely deprived of. Because ITB forgot to win the last game.
The fun fact here, Mark, is that in my bracket prediction for London, I had them matching up in the exact same spot.
I think
basically.
everyone did.
Yep.
Because they should have been there.
Yes, they should have.
Alas. So Pure versus Cloud9. Pure, I would say, yeah. Sentinels, Sentinels win that. Sentinels win the next one, I think, yeah. Sentinel Shopify. Ooh, that's an interesting one, isn't it? To me, if they meet up there, considering they play in pools as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sentinels are such a weird team.
Yep.
And I mean this with the greatest respect, because they look like the best team in the world for 2 games of a series, and then for 2 games of a series, they look like they are a top 6 team.
That's why Will and I haven't had them over Shopify in the top 4 race.
I agree. But I will say in London, there were some very good signs for them. And you have to remember that was the first event as a new team, and it always takes time.
Absolutely.
And they could show up here. I'm looking at Boo Boo for big performances tournament as well.
And not force choke holding before the series is over?
I mean, well, selfishly kind of loved it.
It was great. It was great.
It was awesome to see.
Not the best thing to say when you're in the series. But Quadrant ITB, yeah, I think Quadrant have the number. Complexity bittersweet. I'll give it to Complexity. Did Complexity get into the top 8 off that? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's my toss-up, is that the only reason why I have Complexity over them right now is because Complexity won the qualifier to make them into pools. That's literally the only reason why I have them over them. Because you're right. Other than that, they've been abysmal.
I think, yeah, I mean, Complexity got a very comfortable road to the top 8, is what I would say.
Finally, someone's... oh my God, thank you.
Well, brackets play a huge, like, some people don't realize how important brackets are, right? Like, with all due respect to ITB and that top 6 that they got in Arlington, is one of the easiest top 6s you'll get.
Oh my God, dude, can you be here every week? Holy shit.
But it is, right?
It is.
Look at the teams they had to beat. I think they beat Proton for top 6. I mean, if someone gave you that before a tournament, you'd be like, thank you. Yeah, we'll play that series.
People don't like, I'm not going to get into it right now, and you don't have to agree or anything like that, but like, there's a take that I have from the first Infinite Worlds that people try to throw back at me. So
go on.
Native
Red.
Native taking third at Worlds. They had one of the easiest brackets I've ever seen.
They had a favorable bracket. But I will also say that I think they were just playing out their minds.
They were playing very well.
The thing is, they had a tough bracket, but they also had to play a lot of games in a row to get there. So I think, yeah. But you know, brackets are brackets, right?
It is, and
it is what it is. Someone's got to go somewhere. But yeah, good job to Complexity for finding their way into that position. All right, Sentinel Shopify. I'll go with Shopify. Space Station Quadrant. The second time we see them in the tournament, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
I'll go with SSG just because I think they have something to prove at this event.
Agreed.
Space Station, Shopify. I mean, I have to go with Space Station based off that reasoning, right? I think a second event for SSG outside the top 4 would be a big concern. But yeah, I see Space Station being Optic as well.
Okay.
I think historically, Optic have matched up well against FaZe, but have historically struggled a little bit with Space Station. And I think the biggest thing for Space Station in the last event is like their teamwork was off. And we always talk I was talking to Andy about this, and we feel Space Station's kind of ceiling is as high as FaZe's. Like when they're playing their best, like they could trade games all day, but their floor is lower than Optic and FaZe's. I mean, I think we saw that a little bit in London. And it's because of the way they played the game, right? So much is dependent upon everybody playing off each other's damage efficiently. Because of the way they move around the map, because of the way that Bound plays the game and his approach to the game. There were some really good stats actually about Bound at the last tournament, which were his damage differential. So the difference between his damage dealt and damage taken was the worst in the top 6 for sure. Which isn't too much of a surprise because he's like the front guy, right? He's going to be your entry fragger. He's the one who's usually taking damage first and kind of getting out of it. But it was like such an outlier that you felt like either he was playing too quickly, if you're just looking at stats, which the eye test kind of suggested a little bit, or their teamwork was off, which also the eye test kind of supported a bit because Stella was a little bit quiet by his own standards as well, and those two always work very well together. So it depends what Space Station we see, right? If things are clicking, they beat Optic, I think. If they're not clicking and they're kind of scraping their way through the bracket, then it could be eyes forward to Salt Lake City, where hopefully they can put things right a little bit. But I think it's a really big tournament for them. I really do. I think FaZe will win the tournament. Like I said, I think I don't see anyone beating FaZe twice at the moment.
I'm kind of surprised that you agreed with what we got here, to be honest with you. So that's awesome. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one series that I look at as like a crazy one that could change things is Shopify Quadrant. I think that is the biggest of the winners quarterfinals. And understandably, right, you're looking at the seeding going into it. They're kind of the closest seed. So it's that's going to be a bloodbath.
The Mark, things that have been talked about consistently is that pool play, different thing than bracket play, different thing than Championship Sunday.
Yes.
Teams can either appear or not appear on Championship Sunday. And so I like what you're talking about with the Shopify Quadrant matchup that could potentially happen, because it's all bracket predictions, folks. We don't know how this is actually going to shake out. But that's the thing, right? Is which team actually shows up on these days? Because we've seen top 3 teams, like, yes, they win the series they should be winning in pool play, but some are a lot closer than others. Sometimes they just show up a little more flat than they should.
I think, interestingly now, it's an interesting talking point actually about pools, because pools used to be kind of like felt a little bit like an exhibition on the Friday, right? Everyone was like, oh, we get to see the big teams play. They're going to win their games. But I think because that chasing pack is so good now, that pool play becomes like a real focus for the big teams, for the phases, Optic. I mean, look at FaZe from the first bullet fired in London, like Frosty's comms. Like, it didn't matter who they were playing. That's when, like, we've all talked about it, like, as the talent team, we knew FaZe were winning the event from that moment. Like, Frosty's playing his first game on the stage, and he's screaming, "Dad!" Like, in game 1, we're like, all right. And I think people realize now that you slip up one game in pools, one series in pools, then your bracket, and we talk about, like, how easy your bracket can be, right? Your road to top 6, top 8, top 4, finals, whatever it would be, completely changes. And I think now pool play has become so important in comparison to what it used to be because of the talent of the chasing pack. I mean, if you said we've got Rebellion Sentinels in a winners bracket quarterfinal or winners bracket semifinal, you'd be like, oh, cool. They're like, this pool play can completely change the trajectory for both of those teams. And there's Sentinels could beat Rebellion. Rebellion favorites, sure, but that's not an easy series to win. And then you've got C9 in there as well. Like, imagine Rebellion beat Sentinels, take their foot off gas, C9 just upset them in a game 5 where they win both Slayers. It's doable. So I think pool play now on, like, Fridays is like the most important it's ever been. And I think that's why I'm so, like, focused on it this time around, because there is, like, I can see surprises happening in pool play. Look at ITB, last event, right? There's a massive surprise in pool play that just ended their tournament. So you can't take anything for granted anymore. I think FaZe obviously have the very comfortable road, but everyone else it's a war to get first seed in your pool now, even if you are the highest seeded team.
There's always a pool, and Will can attest to this because he basically perfectly got this right for London. There's always a pool that always feels like it could be that tiebreaker pool, or as people call it, the pool of death. And that pool that had Into the Breach, that had Native Gaming, that had, I think it was
SWAT LATAM.
Yeah, it was SWAT LATAM. Will, you chime in here. You had that as a 3-way tie, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah, I did. I just had the map count wrong. So
You failed.
I failed. I won, but I failed. Yeah, it usually happens once an event that something goes weird in pool play. And honestly, I just went with the standard this time around, but I could see, honestly, pool C or B getting messed up.
I can see, I don't know, man. There's two games I'm very excited for. 3, I would say, that I'm very excited for in pool play. The obvious one is Rebellion Sentinels. I think that's going to be a crazy series. I think ITB Pure is going to be a great series. And I think Space Station Quadrant, the fact that we're kicking that, like, off as well, the tournament with that, is going to be crazy. And I think,
yeah,
like, when was the last time you looked at pools and you look at, like, first and second seed and you're like, oh, this is I feel like there's a favorite, but the other team could quite easily win this series.
Yeah, and you brought up a good point about the SSG Quadrant match. If SSG doesn't come out firing on all cylinders, Quadrant might have a chance to do something.
So that would be, just looking at game types here. That would be Forbidden Flag, Recharge Slayer, Oddball Streets, Livefire, King of the Hill, Aquarius Slayer, if I'm not mistaken, right? For play 1 and 2. Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
I mean, you come out cold on Forbidden, and you're into Recharge Slayer before you've opened your eyes, because that could be over very quickly. You get an Overshield on both snipes, that's 3-0, especially against Quadrant. I could say the same the other way, obviously. Like, I think the King of the Hill is a worry if it goes that far. I think that's why I favor SSG a little bit in it. But man, this is getting me pumped. Honestly, like
I know. I just want the games to happen now.
yeah,
Let's see it.
I gotta get there first.
Yeah, that's another whole fucking debacle. Holy moly. The other thing I wanted to point out is that you bring a good point about Cloud9, is that even though like we have them where we have them, just based off of our predictions, they do feel like, me personally, I put a lot of stock in teams that stick together. Obviously, as long as vibes are good, like I love when teams stick together and work through things and get the practice in together and actually, like, you know, not one of these teams that just make a change willy-nilly after every event because, oh, we didn't get a certain placing. And Cloud9 are one of those teams that stuck together. So if there was ever a team that could cause a quote-unquote upset within that pool, yeah, it could definitely be Cloud9. Do I think it's going to happen? No, but it definitely could.
I mean, Cloud9 have won some Slayers. They are a very good Slayer team. And I always say in a best of 5, if you're a good Slayer team, you've got a chance, because to those game types, they're going to be Slayers. And I think that if you look at, you're going to call them like the bogey team, like if you were a high seed and you saw you were playing Cloud9, you'd be like, oh, could we have not had someone else? You know what I mean? It's like that. I think there's that feeling about them, because there's a lot of experience on that team as well. Like Suspector, Tusk, Sab, they've been there, done that. Septify's been around a long time now, and I think he's a fantastic player. But there, I think if you're Rebellion, Optic, FaZe, Space Station, and you see you're playing Cloud9 at some point in the bracket, it's not an easy game.
Absolutely. Lumberquack asked in the chat, and I wanted to ask you this because we think that Will and I, we say the top 3 are the top 3 for a reason, and Shopify are trying to knock on that door. Lumberquack asks, is there any road to where Shopify wins the major?
Right now? This
Right.
major?
Yep.
I would say no. And I kind of I talked about this on our kind of pre-show that we did. I think you have to learn to Sunday. Like Sunday is such a different day when it comes to Halo Infinite, when it comes to the big teams turning up. It's a different environment, a different intensity. There's just, you can feel it when you're there, right? Like you guys have been to many events now. You know how different Sunday feels to a Saturday or a Friday. Like all eyes are on the main stage. And there's some players that can deal with that pressure, and there's some players who just don't know what that pressure is like. And I think for Rebellion, I think the good thing for them when it comes to Sundays is like you look at the type of personality that's on that team. They're all very level-headed. There's nobody that really gets frustrated. There's nobody that really gets pissy, whatever you want to say it, when something doesn't go their way. And I think they have a good mentality that's all heading towards a common cause. The question I have and haven't had answered or haven't seen an indication of it becoming something at the moment is, can they match the intensity of a FaZe, an Optic, a Space Station when it comes to a big series? And so far this season, we haven't seen that. I mean, they got 3-0 twice in London on Sunday. Like, if you're never going to win a tournament if you don't even get games on the board. And I think that's something that just takes time. I think it's just being in that environment, experiencing it. I mean, Soul Snipe, I would say, has the most experience of that from that run that you mentioned, the Native Red one.
Mm-hmm.
But that was all them, right? That was on a Saturday. That wasn't the Sunday. And the Sunday, again, they turned up and it's different, right? You go through this crazy run, the adrenaline's flowing, and then you turn up on a Sunday and you have to try and recreate that. And it's very difficult to do. And that's sometimes where you see like the big teams pace themselves a little bit through tournaments as well. I think that's also one of the reasons that we saw SSG struggle so much in London was they had so many tough series before they even got to Sunday that I think they were just exhausted, honestly. And I think there was just so many things going through their head about, well, like, why aren't we winning series more easily, that they just kind of got swept aside a little bit.
Hopefully that answers your question, Lumberquack. Onset, how much time do you have?
I have 2.5 hours before I have to leave. So
Jesus Christ.
like...
Do you mind if I just ask you a couple like generalized questions, because we haven't spoken in this kind of format in quite some time?
Yeah, of course.
First and foremost, obviously you're one of the best to have ever done it. And I want to ask you, how do you go into preparing for a major? Or, I mean, you cast a lot of different esports titles, but let's just talk about Halo specifically. What are you doing to prepare to go into this major or to go into any event?
A lot. Me and Andy will always have because it's Andy, he always calendarizes things, which makes me laugh, by the way. Like if he just said to me 2 p.m. tomorrow, I'd be like, yeah, I'll be there. But he sends me calendar invites, which always makes me giggle. And before every single event, we will have a very, very long call where, in a similar way to what we're kind of talking about now, we will talk through our thoughts for the event, recap what happened in London, and then look ahead to what are our stories for this event that we think makes people want to watch. Okay, so that's like our top line things. We call them top level storylines. They're kind of like tournament wide ones, right? That on a day one you can follow through to a Sunday. So for example, FaZe's chance to go back to back. It's very simple, but if you say it on a Friday, then people are still interested if they're on a Sunday. It gives a reason to stay there, be involved and focused. And then we go into team specific storylines, where you're looking at what people should be looking out for throughout a weekend for their favorite team. So, for example, we were talking about Shopify Rebellion. If they make it to Sunday, are they going to be able to perform this time? They've got the Sunday Scaries, as Andy called it. And there's little things as well, like Cycle, I think, is something we want to talk about. I talk about this with Clutch as well, because we had a little chat. And we really feel there's a lot of similarities in the way that Cycle plays to how Pistola used to play. It's always shoulder peeking, always very good at having an escape route in his mind from a fight that he doesn't have an advantage in. All these little things add up, and that comparison is going to be brought up a lot. And I think by doing that, you create fans of newer players as well, which is something we want to do. We're going to get focus on players who are breaking through and deserve a spotlight. So that kind of storyline. And then we do that for every team. And then we go into so we're lucky enough to know what series we're going to be casting on the Friday before the event. So we go into our preparation for the series. It's like our storylines. Then we have some statistics in there that we look for. There's an amazing dude called Easy Mac who does a lot of stats research for the HCS. Incredible guy. I want to shout him out. He does this stuff for CDL as well. And he has these amazing spreadsheets that we can dive into and kind of pick out things that work with our stories, support them, and and then we prepare for that series about some stuff that we want to get in, although it won't all go in because it depends on how the series is going, what the situation is, etc., etc. And then we talk about like the scrims we've been watching, like not so much the results, but is there any gameplay patterns we're seeing developing? Is there any specific things that we can see that teams are trying to work on? Is improvement from some players on the way they're interacting with others, all that kind of stuff, and we will talk that through and make notes on that to keep an eye on through the series. And then yeah, pretty much it.
Are you doing anything like between days? So like once open brackets completed, moving on to Saturday with the rest of pool play and then moving on to Championship Sunday, is there any difference in preparation between days?
Oh yeah, we'll do, so after a Friday, on the Friday evening, we'll find out what our series is going to be for the next day, and we do we call it a match sheet or a team sheet basically for each matchup that we're doing. We'll do the same thing again. It's like you take your original stories and then you'll feed in what's happened already to kind of bulk it up and give you some background if you're tuning in for the first time, whatever it might be, but also kind of like establish the stories if they were true or if it's a struggle, whatever it might be. And then we kind of take that away and we go into the next day thinking about that. During the days, it's more of it's one of the things I think people don't maybe realize is like we cast and then we're off camera, but we're watching every single game and there's usually a bunch of us there and all of us are giving our input on what we're seeing, what we're thinking, what we're doing. And like when it gets to the end of a day, we are fucked. Like I am so tired. Like it's pretty crazy. But we do that. We make sure that we do that so that we're ready for the next day, so we can just sleep and chill and whatever, and then come in for the next day. But when it comes to Sunday, the stories kind of that we've built have kind of resolved, if that makes sense. So it's like have FaZe still have the opportunity to go back to backs? Like yes, but then it's like less about what's happened, and then it's like we try and focus people to be in the moment a little bit more. So it's like, okay, all of this is done now. Now this is the series itself. Like enjoy the series and then kind of go from there. I don't know if that helped or answered the question.
No, that 100% answered the question.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's great insight.
It's always a curious thing because obviously like we see you guys on the broadcast, we see you guys in the booth, but it's always nice to understand like I hope people understand, or like people should understand the amount of work that you guys have to do on a daily basis, not just during the event, but in preparation for it. Like it's astronomical. And I've said it countless times before, we've attested to this, is that like you guys can make or break a broadcast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's,
I feel that pressure a lot.
Yeah. And obviously we love watching the gameplay, but the thing that I appreciate about what you guys do, and not just within Halo, but within other esports as well, is just not only those storylines, but you make things more digestible to the person watching or to the person listening. And like when you're watching the game and you see a play happen, you're like, oh, that looked like a pretty good play. But when you hear like yourself or another caster actually break it down and be like, no, that play was fucking sick and this is why, it just adds so much more context to what is happening on the screen that hopefully it provides people an opportunity to be like, oh, I'm not just watching this anymore. I'm actually experiencing this, and I'm actually taking more information in and understanding why this play was good, why this play was bad, why this team is an underdog, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I think one of the toughest things to do as a commentator, just like full stop, regardless of title, is make your commentary accessible to all levels of fan, whether they're watching for the first time and you're trying to kind of catch their attention to watch again, essentially, or if it's someone who is at home sick, who's a pro player, who's tuning in, you know what I mean, who knows everything about the game there is to know. And I think that balance is like very... It can be like, especially when you start your commentary career, it can be very difficult to recognize that because you're like, I think you're so like focused on like, I want to impress, I want to show what I know. And it's like, you need to learn to find that balance. And I think one thing that Annie and I have always tried to do is like, our Friday commentary will differ from our Sunday a little bit because of the fact that I see a Friday as like hey everybody, welcome, like be a part of our community, enjoy these games. And then Sunday is like, this shit's for real. You know what I mean? Like this is the big game. Like you need to know everything here. Like, so I think that's kind of how I approach it. But yeah, you're completely right. It's like, Andy's brilliant at it. It's one thing I love about Andy is like, we're very lucky that we think and see the same things about how the game's working, and that I can see something and I will see he's recognized it as well, and I just lead him into it because I know he's going to pick up and kind of explain it perfectly. And I don't know if you guys seen this before, but like when I'm enjoying what Andy's saying, I give him like a little signal to just keep going.
Yeah,
like, because like he sometimes feels he has to give it back to me for because something's happening. I'm like, fuck that. Like people can see what's happening. Like your point is much better than anything I'm about to say. So keep going. Like, so yeah, that's kind of just I guess a chemistry thing, but also like a VOD review understanding of like how each other work a little bit.
so you and Brav have been a duo for a long time. Schurz and Gaskin have been a duo for a long time. You talk about visual cues, right? You tell, like, you give a visual cue to Bravo to keep going. You guys obviously have that chemistry down, but I do want to ask this, like, a little bit of a follow-up here. If you have a thought in your head, you want to get it out at a specific time or whatever, how do you communicate to Bravo to be like, hey, I have something I really want to get out there? Like, not to be an asshole, but like, can you wrap up your statement so I can get my word in? How does that happen live?
So I basically just raise my index finger and put it in his eye line. Like, because we're both usually kind of crouched over a little bit. He'll just see me stretch my arm out and put my finger up, and he'll do the same to me.
Very simple. I love it.
We're simple people. Anything more complicated and people would panic. It's funny, actually. The first time I did like the keep going to Andy, he thought I meant wrap it up. So just stop talking. I was like, no. Opposite. Keep going. So yeah, took a bit of time to get that down.
Question here from the chat. Minty Fresh says, does Onset have a food recommendation for like each event as a preparation?
Say that again. Does Onset have food I would like to have or requires? No. I turn up and eat whatever they have at catering. Although I'm trying not to do that at the moment. I'm trying to lose some weight. So
what's the?
I'm just looking at the food in catering.
What's the worst catering that you've had?
I tell you where the best catering was.
Okay.
First, no surprise. SSG. Unbelievable. We were having, I love the SSG guys. So we had like chicken sandwiches. Beautiful stuff. I think they brought us donuts on the Sunday morning. It was incredible. I'm trying to think what the worst was. The worst ones usually are like the convention halls because, like, without going into it too much, you have to basically, I think a lot of event operators have to use the providers of the thing, if you know what I mean. Like they have like a contract with them. And I would say in Europe as well. Like, that's the worst one actually. I had it was in London. It wasn't the Quadrant event, by the way. They had ice cream. They had an ice cream machine.
Oh, shit.
But there was an event in London I did in the last couple of years, and it was not good. It was like unedible. I could not tell you what was on that plate, but luckily there was some food places nearby.
Real quick, shout out to Druck with the raid. Fucking legend. Thank you so much. And you better be competing at fucking Atlanta. Because if you don't, my bracket's fucked. So please don't do that to us. Also, just real quick, Clutch with the 8-month resub, Maddie with the 15-month resub. You both get a woo! And CGG and Keys Bomb. Thank you guys for the follows. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. Will, I've been talking a lot. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask Onset?
You're good. I would give you the keep going signal here.
Perfect, because I do have another one, as a matter of fact. Well, actually, before I get to mine, and again, Onset, just tell me to shut the fuck up if you ever want to get off the call. Just please.
Dude, I'm having a great time. Don't worry about it.
Oh, you're too kind.
All I would be doing right now is panicking about if I've packed everything, which I think I have. But as long as I think I have is good enough for me. So keep distracting me. This is good. This is important.
All right. Sounds good. I do want to take another question from the chat here. Riz asks, do you like beans on toast?
Yeah, of course I do. Do you think I am a heathen?
Jesus Christ. Snag wanted to give you guys a compliment as well. It says, you and Brav have honed your craft to magnificent heights. No one will ever know just how hard you guys work, but I hope you know it never goes unappreciated.
It's very kind of you to say. As an Englishman, taking compliments is not my forte, so I will say thank you, and please follow up with something insulting.
Well, actually, you know what?
That's the force.
Onset, you can
Snag's the one
actually
to do that too.
You can actually follow up with something insulting yourself. If you would, I'm not going to make you, but if you would do us the honors, if you would just say "fuck you, Snag."
No, I can't.
Fuck! It's a community thing. We all do it.
Yeah, we all do it. Even Snag is egging you on. He wants you to do it.
Fuck you, Snag.
Yes!
Yes!
Yes! Yes! All right, let's ban Snag from the chat. He said, "Fuck you, Onset." Let's get him out of here.
Perfect. VIP right now.
Oh my!
That's how my chat. If I streamed, someone insulted me, they'd be VIP immediately.
Oh my god, love it. All right. So next question I have for you, Onset, is, I mean it when I say it, and I've said it countless times, but I am so fucking glad that the narrative exists. Knowing what you guys do and watching you guys at these events it's just, you know, I don't want to gas you up too much, you know what I mean? But like, no, seriously, you guys are incredible at what you do day in, day out. And so seeing you guys be able to provide more content in another outlet is just, it's everything I could have ever wanted. So I want to ask you, I'm pretty sure you may have already stated this before, but just for us, just for this, where did the idea come from? When did you guys finally decide, like, no, we're going to fucking do this. We're going to make this content. We're going to have this schedule to an extent and do these things at events. What was the process behind this?
I think it was after, well, Andy and I have been talking about doing something for ages, and you know, it's always like, you always talk about doing stuff, but you don't actually take the step to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Andy's made some great content before. I've always wanted to do something, but when I want to do something, it's like, I'm kind of like an all-in type of person, if you know what I mean. I don't want to just do something for the sake of it and then give up after a few episodes or not have a quality bar that I'm happy with. And kind of like try and create something that kind of separates itself a little bit. And the main goal of it was to get people watching Halo. Like literally that was it. That was essentially like the whatever you want to call it, like the logo behind it was like in my head. So I said to Andy, like, we're doing this. Like, this is happening, like whether you like it or not. And obviously he was like 100% on board with it and stuff. And then we were like trying to think about how we want to do it. Like, what do we want to do? And the biggest gap that we felt is like, these events are great, but between events outside of like you guys, there's not really any content that talks about Halo or gets people excited about the event and makes them want to tune in, makes them want to watch, makes them want to be fans. And we have these kind of conversations all the time. You can imagine, like, we talk about Halo all the time. Not just Andy and I, like the whole talent team. Like, we're always playing games together. We're always hanging out in Discord, wherever it might be. So I was like, we need to do something, but I don't want to do it from, I want it to have a visual setting that's different. I want it to look like premium, and I want it to feel like a product that people can enjoy and really try and support, and so it kind of shows Halo in the way that we see it. So that was kind of it. It was the motto was to drive people to watch Halo, because we've had some of the, like, for all of the, and you know, I quite openly talk about this, for all of the tough times that Halo has had over the years, there is, in the last couple of years in the Halo Championships of Halo Infinite, some of the best Halo series we have ever seen in Halo history, ever. And I will stand by that. Like, back and forth, like bracket resets in grand finals of world championships. Like, it has been insane to watch some of these games. And like, my kind of like appreciation for how talented these players are that we are lucky enough to be a part of. Like, I just want to get more people to see it the way that I see it and the way that Andy sees it. So that was kind of like the motto of it. And then, yeah, we kind of decided that we want to do that, but then also like what we can provide at events that maybe is going to make fans of these players, is going to show some personality, because it's very difficult for people on a 3-day event to actually learn anything about players. You know, like how outside of a 40-second interview at the end of a series, like what you never hear from players, you never see these players, you never get to ask them a few questions about not just the series, but like something else that you saw, or, you know, just we wouldn't know that, Bound can't stand the fact that Legend puts mayo on his chips. You know what I mean? Like all that kind of stuff. And like we were lucky enough to be in a position where we can go up to a player and be like, hey, do you want to talk quickly? And they're like, sure. So like being able to give people that access that we're lucky enough to have. And I think when you're in the situation, you don't realize how lucky you are to have that access sometimes, because you're just like, hey man, great series. And they're like, oh, thanks man. Like, and you talk about it for a little bit and then you kind of wander off and it's like, well, why can't we show other people those conversations? And kind of get their feelings on events. I mean, I think the thing I'm most proud of with it so far was the reaction we got from Legend after he won the event. Because I think that was the first time it hit him. He was like, oh my God, like there was this reaction that we just managed to get on camera. And it was like, holy fuck, like that's going to stay with him forever. Like that moment will stay with him forever. And that reaction will stay with people forever who will then want to support his journey. So yeah, that was kind of the thing we want to do. We obviously did the longer form interview with Jim. Fun fact, by the way, Jim was the cameraman for the first 2 times that we did stuff. So shout out Jimbo.
Shout out
Jimbo.
Like
we wanted to create like fans of their story, because that was the point where, they would somehow manage to win an online qualifier and then Quadrant would approach one of their players, and it happened a couple of times, and it was like they still managed to like come back, and like all this shit that players go through that people don't realize. And we want to tell those stories as well to make fans of the players and make them want to enjoy watching their journeys. So I think we're trying to do that at the moment. We want people to watch Halo. We want people to love these players because they're fucking incredible at what they do. And yeah, we want to do more and more, but we don't want to do it to a compromise of the quality of the stuff that we want to put out. So we've got some cool stuff lined up for the FaZe event. So hopefully people enjoy that as well.
Speaking of the FaZe event, are you able to, I'm just going to throw it out there, are you able to tease anything that we can expect?
I don't know, actually.
That's a no.
No, I don't know. Probably. We're gonna do. So if you saw the Jimbo interview, if you didn't, you can go and check it out. We're hoping to be able to do something that with one of the FaZe guys before the event. So hopefully we can get that out before it kicks off. We'll test Andy's editing skills with that one. And then so hopefully we can get a little bit of story from one of the FaZe guys to give to you. A little bit, maybe more of a kind of a personality driven piece, because there's some amazing stories. I was really gutted because I wanted to do something with Snakebite, and people might not know this. Snakebite's mum and dad are incredible, by the way. It's two of the loveliest people you'll ever meet in your lives, and they are like encyclopedias of his Halo career. And I was really hoping that I think his dad's there on the Sunday, but not early. I was like, I really want to talk to him. But yeah, hopefully we're going to get something with the FaZe guys and one of the FaZe guys, and we'll do a good personality piece with them.
That sounds fantastic.
I don't know who would be best. Who do you think would be best? Who would you want to hear from?
Oh, fuck. I mean, any of them, to be honest. I know it sounds like a cop-out answer, but literally any of them. I feel like we haven't really heard a lot from Royal 2.
Yeah, that's because he's a basement dweller.
But yeah, like let's get him out. Like let's get him out of the basement. Sure. You know what I mean? And like actually let his personality shine a little more. His personality shines on stream. Like we see that
he's
obviously.
So funny,
but
man.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
like
so funny.
Bring that out a little bit more instead of just play your series, get off the stage, and go back to the room. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know who we're gonna do it with yet. I don't know who's we gotta sort out schedule and stuff. But I like that idea. I think Matt's just he's so funny.
He is. I want to ask this as well. So, do you guys have any plans? I know this is a little ways away, but I do want to ask because I love what you guys are doing and making more content within the space. Do you guys have any plans to do like off-season stuff as well?
Our original plan, which is why I said it was like, I'm not going to do one or two things, was to do this for a year and then reassess at the end of the year about what's next. So for now, this is obviously constantly evolving because like we were lucky enough to work with FaZe for this event, which is amazing, and we cannot thank them enough. So all of these things are kind of kind of we have a set of what we would guarantee we want to produce for every event, but we're still kind of finding the gaps, so to speak, in what we want to do. Like we started the debrief after the last event, which is kind of it's not a podcast, by the way.
It's a podcast.
It's not a podcast. I'm mistaken. You were watching the wrong thing. Definitely not a podcast, but it's a discussion.
It's a podcast.
It's a discussion piece about the event. So that's kind of like a little. It's almost like it's a reminisce, right? It's you have this amazing time at event, and then you want to talk about it. You want to reminisce some of the great moments, and you kind of talk about it with your mates, right? And that's kind of the feel that we went for that. But off-season stuff, I would love to do some off-season stuff. We just haven't really got to that bridge to cross as yet. But I guess watch this space. We'll have to see.
Hell yeah! It's also called a PP. It's a post-show podcast.
It's not a podcast.
It is, but we can move on from that.
It's not a podcast. It actually says it in the description that it's not a podcast. So
right, but just because I don't believe everything I read on the internet.
That's a podcast. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my God. Wait, so are we not a podcast then, if that's the rule?
No, you can be a podcast. We're just not a podcast.
Well, no, I'm just going to steal that. We're not a podcast anymore, guys. This is just a weekly discussion piece.
Unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
I'm lawyering up as we speak.
Awesome. Oh my God. Onset, I don't know if this is going to be the end of the discussion, but I just want to say, fucking thank you for just willing to be on out of the blue,
anytime,
dude.
Honestly, I felt like I felt bad because I was like going to jump on and I thought I was taking up your time. I was going to quickly go through predictions, and then I realized that I was going to burn a lot of time because I didn't actually know who was going to win any of the games. My apologies.
No, like we said, it's not a podcast, it's just a discussion. So I mean, we're just discussing stuff right now.
It's true. We're just talking. We're just a couple of guys hanging out talking about Halo, right?
That's right. That's fucking right.
No pods to be seen.
No. Oh my God. All right. I think that's all the questions that I have right off the bat. Will, do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, just you covered most of it. Just want to reinforce everything. Love what you and Brav are doing, and you guys are amazing on the cast as always. So can't wait for this weekend to come up.
I'm excited. Thank you guys. And I did see one question actually in the chat, as if I got my 50 in MLG. Yes, I did on Halo 3. I had multiple of them. I used to. I'm not actually going to say that.
What? Did you buy 50s?
The Xbox Live code. No. The Xbox Live 50 code. Xbox Live 50. The Xbox Live codes. They got used well. The 2-week codes. They got used well.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, I had to get to university somehow.
Oh, okay. There you go. Juan literally said, I think he sold me one. Oh my God. Mark, thank you so much for taking the time, man. It's great getting that insight from you directly, especially when leading up to one of these majors. And I think you said it perfectly earlier, and it's something that we've been touting on the show for, event after event after event, is that literally the Halo's never been as good as it has been now. And it just gets better every single event. So if you guys in the chat, if you guys listen to this after the fact, want to watch some of the best Halo in the world being played, tune into the Atlanta Major this weekend and fucking listen to Bravo and Onset, listen to all the guys that are going to be on the casting booth, on the analyst desk, listen to Lottie, listen to Blaze. We all just love this scene. We all love this game, and we just want to see it succeed, and we love watching these guys play at the highest level.
I agree. And I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody on the talent team who's going to be there in Atlanta. I love all of you guys and girls, and cannot wait to see you soon. So, and everybody, of course, who's going as well. So, you're the best in the world, guys. Thank you for having me. I don't know how you do this every week, by the way. It's incredible dedication, and keep this shit up.
Sometimes we don't do either, Onset, but hey, we keep it rolling. Oh man. All right. We'll see you in Atlanta, and you have a great rest of your night. Safe travels to you and everybody that is going. And we'll talk soon.
Catch you soon. Catch you in a bit, bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck in A. Wow. Mark, thank you, dude. What the fuck?
That was incredible.
I'm going to try to see if this works. Does this work? It works. Let's go.
Hey.
Look at that. We're back on cam like nothing happens. No, Mark, seriously, like, that's one of the things we do like to keep things quote unquote structured around here in terms of like we have our notes laid out the way that we do and we have our segments laid out the way that they are. So, but the fact that like you're just willing to shoot the shit, talk through the predictions, so on and so forth, because we're all just excited for this thing. That means I can't even explain how much that means to us. So thank you. Seriously. And I know you said it before, but I'm just going to say it as well. And maybe we're biased, but I don't give a shit. I think the Halo talent team is one of the best in esports. So just going to throw that out there. Fuck you, Snag. You heard it from fucking Onset. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, Mark, if you're still here, I will just say this. Juan did make a soundbite of it. Oh yeah, he made a soundbite.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. We got that shit. We got it, baby. Onset, for the record, we will not use it unless you say we can. Okay. I'll just put that out there. But yes, Juan did make that. He's the editor extraordinaire. He gets that shit on lock. Says play it. What was the soundbite? Play it? All right, hold on. Will, I'm going to go to a fucking... I'm just going to go back to the full cam because otherwise I'm going to have to... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, I am going to have to de-full screen this. So give me 1 second.
All right.
Go full screen.
Don't want to leak the DMs?
Yeah, the non-existent DMs. Absolutely. All right, here you go.
Fuck you, Snag.
Oh, let me turn that up. What was that, Mark?
Fuck you, Snag.
That's right. Fuck you, Snag. All right. We're going to make sure that we save that to the soundboard. So that's just going to be a thing now. Hell yeah. Let's go. So just know, Mark, you are now up there with sound bites that we have, such as
Unishek
saying his own name. You are now there. And you know what? Also, we're in the process of getting Tashi to say Tashi's tantalizing tidbits. We will get that, and that will be for the show, I promise you. So now we have Onset saying "fuck you, Snag." We have Unishek saying his own name. We're gonna have Snakebite eventually saying Snakebite stimulating statements because Lottie's gonna get him to do it. We're gonna have sound bites for days over here.
Man, I still remember that story of how we got the Unishek soundbite
at Outpost Discovery.
Yeah, because we
just walked up to him. Would you be willing to say your name, please?
Well, we had so many people with different iterations on how to say his name, and we're like, what's the real one here? Please let us know.
It was so good too. I loved how willing he was to do it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, oh, fuck yeah. We stepped aside. We got in a good enough area so there wasn't any other outside noise really. And yeah, he fucking did it.
There was a ton of noise. I took
but
forever to edit that voice out of that noise.
We still stood away from like the whole huge conglomerate of people.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, we were in like a conference room for it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, the fact that Tashi said that he'd be willing to do Tashi's tantalizing tidbits as well. Maybe I'll get him to do it at Atlanta. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah, get a clip. I'll get the editing software out.
I'll snag it for you.
Oh.
Hey. And then I got to reach back out to Lottie because Lottie's got to get on Snakebite for it too.
Or just get it from Lottie.
I could just get it from Lottie. It's just Snakebite doesn't tweet that often. So I'm just, like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I still want it though. All right. But no, seriously, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. Really is fucking appreciated. Can't wait to see you in Atlanta. If you want a sticker, I got them. Just for you. All right. So there you go. Those are those are our long-winded predictions as to what we think is going to happen in Atlanta. It's nice to see that Mark agrees for the most part of what we're talking about, that we're not just shooting shit out of our ass, you know?
It feels like that sometimes.
It really does. It really does. But it's nice to know that, like, our predictions are always wrong as it is. So just the fact that he's like, oh, I could see that, I could see that, I could see that. I'm like, all right, cool. We're on the same page. And he brought up some really good points as well, like depending upon matchups, depending upon map mode combinations in the series, whatever it may be, depending upon if it's on a fucking Friday and pool play, if it's on a Saturday, who shows up on Sunday, all very, very good points. Absence says, just got here. Where'd you put Sen? Top 6. Sen as top 6. It's just I'll just briefly show it one last time. This is the bracket that I have created. So I have,
mine is pretty similar.
Yes, we are nearly lockstep in everything, and we have Sentinels and Quadrant in the top 6 placings, if I am not mistaken. So there's that. Also, Absent, welcome back. Good to see you. Says wrong. All right, it's not good to see you anymore. I'm just kidding. Lumber, I love that optimism, man. I love that optimism. I just don't see it happening. Not yet. Not yet. Whew. All right. Will, I think it's time we should move on to some regular news. BTB Sentry Defense stays a little while longer. This is by Halo Support. They state, BTB Sentry Defense playlist has been extended by 2 weeks. It is now scheduled to rotate out of Halo Infinite Matchmaking on July 30th. Okay. And then also, Will, we talked about it during the Off the Rails Patreon exclusive show. If you're not subscribed to our Patreon, you should check it out. Halo has been canceled. It's a television show after 2 seasons at Paramount Plus. This is by Joe Otterson of Variety. And here is what he states. The live-action Halo series has been canceled by Paramount Plus, Variety has learned. The big-budget series based on the popular Xbox video game franchise aired 2 seasons at the streaming service. The show originally debuted in 2022, while the second season aired between February and March of 2024. Quote, Paramount Plus can confirm that Halo will not move forward with a 3rd season on the service, end quote, the streamer said in a statement. We are extremely proud of this ambitious series and would like to thank our partners at Xbox, 343 Industries, and Amblin Television, along with showrunner and executive producer David Weiner. I don't want to laugh at that, but I want to laugh at that at the same time.
I wasn't going to laugh until you stopped.
Yeah, I know.
Stopping it made it worse.
I stopped for dramatic humor. You know what I mean? His fellow executive producers, the entire cast led by Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief, and the amazing crew for all their outstanding work. We wish everyone the best going forward. According to an individual with knowledge of the situation, Xbox, Amblin TV, and 343 Industries will try to shop the series to other outlets. Quote, we deeply appreciate the millions of fans who propelled the Halo series to be a global success, and we remain committed to broadening the Halo universe in different ways in the future, end quote, 343 Industries said. Quote, we're grateful to Amblin and Paramount for their partnership in bringing our expansive sci-fi universe to viewers around the world, end quote. Just to briefly state my sentiment around this. I was asked by a friend, am I happy that this is done? Am I happy the show's over? I feel, I'll say exactly what I said to them. I feel bad for those that worked on the show that may not have a job anymore. I genuinely feel bad for them. Season 1 was bad. Not just from a Halo perspective, but from a sci-fi show perspective. The first season was not good. If you liked it, that's fine. It's all opinion. It's all subjective. Like, you like what you like, you don't like what you don't like. I thought season 1 was bad. Season 2 was a definitive upgrade over season 1. But still, from a sci-fi show perspective, it wasn't that good overall. I would not be mad if I never saw a Halo television series episode ever again. Will, your thoughts?
I mean, same sentiment. I enjoyed it for what it was. But me personally would have liked to seen the show stick closer to the lore that we know. But they wanted to tell their own story. I get it. Silver timeline. And I believe I said in our chat before that I watched it because it was Halo. It wasn't like I was watching it because I was yearning for it or excited about the next week when the next episode popped up. I watched it because it was Halo, and that was that.
Agreed. There was never a moment or an episode that it's like, I need to see what happens next.
I mean, the first episode, before the helmet came off, like the fight scene in the desert
was fantastic.
Oh, it was fantastic. I was so excited for that. But then where it went from that point, it just lost me a little.
Immediately from that point too. Like it was right after that bombastic first battle sequence where you see you see people die. And I'm like, okay, we are going to be a mature show. Like we're doing this. Mm-hmm. And then it's just,
Yeah. I also think splitting between like the Soren and Quan stuff, then back to God. Chief. I even forget the name of the villain woman that shows up that we got to see Master Cheeks with.
I thought you were talking about the Oni chick, but no, you're talking about McKee.
McKee, yeah.
Yeah.
Like that whole storyline insert just didn't sit well with me. Feel it was just a miss.
Yep. Lumberquack asks, do you think some will get it right and try again? I don't know, man. If it doesn't get picked up, if the Halo show does not get picked up by another streaming service, I don't see it ever coming back.
I think the thing that just hurts me even more is how much success we've seen with like the Fallout show,
The Last
of Us show. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just makes me think, what if with Halo?
Yep. And see, like with The Last of Us, they're doing, it's not a direct 1-to-1, but it's a lot of it's beat for what happens in the first game. And so I'm assuming that season 2 is going to do something similar with the second game. And with Fallout, they were able to run hog wild with it. But the beautiful part about the Fallout show is that they just let it go. Like they let their fucking, it's like everybody took their fucking suits off, like their business suits off, and were like, this is Fallout. We're going to be fucking crazy because that's the point.
Yeah. And the way that game is open world, you do have different avenues with the way you play your character. There isn't like a strict storyline with Fallout, right?
No.
Because of the way the game can go.
Yeah.
So the fact that they just let the world kind of be as it is and not outside the realm of what Fallout is and still told their story within it, it was still great.
Exactly. And they have that underlying storyline of the main female lead looking for her dad. Like yes. That's the whole point. And for those who have played Fallout 3, Fallout 4, the whole point is you're trying to find a family member. Like that's the underlying story. And so just the fact that they just lean into the insanity, it makes Fallout special. The fact that The Last of Us has such an amazing thing to be based off of as it is, but then they get to translate it into a show with even more emotional aspect to it and expand on things and do it in the right way, it works. And like the fact that the Halo show was teed up to be fantastic, and I don't want to sound like an asshole, but if they literally just took some from the source material, it could have been so much better than it was. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it needs to be a 1-to-1 recreation of the first game. Like it doesn't need to be Halo CE, aka The Flood, the book, aka Halo, the TV show. It doesn't need to be that. But just taking some inspiration from the source material, this should have been a knock out of the fucking park as a sci-fi show. Like, what are we doing? And again, that's why I feel bad for the folks that were doing the best that they could that worked on this that might not have a job anymore. I feel bad for them because that fucking sucks. But at the same time, the show just wasn't good. So, oh my God. So yeah, Lumberquack, just again, to answer your question, if I don't know what goes on in these business meetings and so on and so forth, but if it does not get picked up by another streaming service, I don't think it'll ever be picked up again. I think there's too much money to be wasted at that point. So. There you go. On that downer note, that's it for the regular news. Time for Kind of the Games Watch! Before we get into CDL Champs results, I want to give a quick shout out to a National Champions video. This is by Classics. It's a little over 5 minutes. And if you watch that, which is phenomenal, by the way, but if you watch that and you ask yourself, where's more? Well, Shostin of Classics did put out a statement, and he says, FYI, due to a few oopsie daisies, I wasn't able to get the extended version of the documentary done in time for Champ Sunday. The 5-minute version is a great overview for new COD fans, but I'll have a longer, more in-depth version coming out in the near future. So there you go. Stay tuned for that. Shostin and the Classics team do a phenomenal job on all the videos that they do, so go check those out if you haven't already. But Will, the big one that happened over the weekend, we have CDL Champs. Again, we are a Halo podcast, but we do have this segment to talk about some other things that happen within esports. I'm now realizing as we are over 3 hours into the show that I should have included some Evo stuff in here. To be honest with you, I didn't really watch a lot of Evo, but I've heard that there were some phenomenal fights that happened in fighting games. Guys, it's Evo. I think Punk to God won Street Fighter 6, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw that. I think Sonic Fox won Mortal Kombat 1, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to them. Yeah. Or if it wasn't Street Fighter 6, it was a different Street Fighter game. But like either way, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. You guys know more than I do. You guys know more about this than I do. But yeah, if you want to go check, you guys should go check out all the Evo stuff because I've heard it was phenomenal. Punk won Street Fighter 6. I was right. Okay, I was right. I was right. But CDL Champs. Well, Will takes a step away for a second. I'll just go through all the placings here. In 7th and 8th, we have LA Gorillas and Seattle Surge. In 5th, 6th, we had the Miami Heretics, and in abysmal placing by them, the Atlanta FaZe. In 4th, we had the LA Thieves. Huge shout out to them. A lot of young guns on that team. Fucking phenomenal show out for them. In 3rd place was Toronto Ultra. Folks were predicting them to win the event. Toronto Ultra takes home 3rd. They knock FaZe out of the tournament, by the way. That was a whole shit. A lot of beef between Scrap and Draza. Between those two rosters. And their significant others. But that's we don't need to fucking talk about that. That's if you want to talk about that type of drama, shut the fuck up. In 2nd place was the New York Subliners. And in 1st place, making one of, I don't want to say that it was the biggest, but I'm thinking like this sounds like it is one of, if not the biggest comebacks from LAN to LAN history. Optic Texas go from winning first at a previous major to getting dead last, top 12 at the major after that, to then 3 weeks later winning champs. And not only winning champs, but winning it in dominant fashion. They won that final 5-1, Will?
I don't know what you're talking about. I just got back.
It's okay. I think it was best of 9, right? For CDL champs?
Yes, best of 9.
Yeah, and I think it was 5-1 going the way of Optic Texas.
Yes.
It really wasn't that close. So, congratulations to Optic. What an unbelievable fucking storyline it was for them to win in the way that they did, especially coming off of that abysmal loss at the event prior. And then also, I got to give a shout out to New York. I think it was talked about during the broadcast that their coach just did a phenomenal job getting them prepped and ready to go towards the end of each year. And they really locked the fuck in. Unfortunately, they weren't able to win it for their fans, but they got fucking second. FaZe did not turn up at all. Who knows what's going to happen there? But yeah, got to give the fucking ups to Optic. What a great win. What a great fucking win. Great fucking win. And I know, like, Will, just real quick before we move on, I know, like, a lot of people give shit to Call of Duty and whatnot. And I know that some games are more fun to watch than others. But there's just something about that crowd, that environment, just, again, what the casters are able to do, what they're able to bring to it as well, that even if you think a map looks like shit or whatnot, it's just when you watch the game being played and you feel that energy in the crowd and with the casters and everything, and you see the pop-off moments, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's just
100%.
awesome. Just awesome. So yeah, congratulations to Optic Texas. And then the last piece here before we move on to close out the show, well, before we move on to Will's Adventures and then close out the show, Hastro moves on. This is by Hastro. He says, incredible win, Shotzi, Dashi, Pred, Kenny, Karma, and JP. This was one for the history books. Hats off to everyone at Optic for an amazing season of COD. It's been almost a year since my last tweet, so this is going to be a quick update thread. For 17 years, I gave my all to my org, my players and teams. Last summer, I found myself needing some time away to be fully present for my family, to work on personal growth, and to rest. In addition, it was clear that Optic needed to be Hex's Optic to thrive. Look what happens when Optic is given the chance to be Hector's Optic again. With that said, I've decided to leave the company as an employee beginning this month so I can pursue a role on a new project I've been working on quietly. I'm excited to share it soon with you all. I'll remain as a co-owner and as a board director at Optic. I appreciate all the love you all have given me over the years as a competitor. My career up to now has been filled with incredible moments, amazing wins, and unwavering support from so many people across the world. To wrap it up, thank you all. Huge congrats to our organization and to the Green Wall for rallying behind this championship roster. I'll still be around doing what I can to help the org when I'm needed. Shout out to Hastro. Focus on you. Focus on the family. And excited to see what you got cooking up next. That's it for Con of the Games Watch. Which means it's time for Will's Adventures with the Mailovers and Destiny 2. Will.
Yeah.
I kind of teased it already, but what'd you play last week?
Yeah. Still playing Halo Infinite. Didn't play as much as normal. Obviously, we had the tournament we talked about that happened on Sunday. And then, yeah, playing Destiny 2. I am grinding for the Deadeye seal that I've never achieved before because I just never took the time. So just getting kills with different weapons. I've done a lot of the triumphs. There's like 4 pages of them.
Yeah.
For that seal. So I got 2 pages done almost. I think I have like 4 or 5 weapons that I just need to get 100 kills with. And a couple of those weapons are almost there. You know, my grenade launcher is up in the 80s. My bow is in the 70s. Then it's on to fusion rifles, trace rifles, awkward shit in the Crucible. So it's going to be hell, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to put myself through it.
Guys, is going to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Hold his
What
feet
about
to
you?
the fire, chat. Me, I've been playing like a couple things, but like really for minutes at a time, so I didn't include them. But really just been playing some Infinite, right? Did the community playdate, which was awesome as always. Did the grassroots tournament, which was awesome, even though we got pooped on. And yeah, other than that, kind of getting some firefight in every now and again. You and I played a little while ago. Just you know, keeping the hands warm. Majin Blue says, see you guys in ATL. Where are the alphas? Fuck yeah, dude. See you there. Come get stickers. I'll be wearing this on Friday. So if you see me, like, I think it's HCS Pro Talk on the back as well. Well, right? That's what we chose?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah. So just come fucking find me. Moosetrocity. Oh, it's in all caps. I got to go. Moosetrocity! Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the live show. Greatly appreciated. All right. But yeah, just Halo Infinite. That's kind of it. Just dibble dabble in some other things, but nothing really else to include. With that, let's get into some shout-outs. Happy belated birthday to Mental of Shopify Rebellion, and happy birthday today to Tools. Mr. Garrett, happy birthday to you. I know you were in the chat earlier in the show, and I know I didn't say happy birthday because I have you here. I have you listed right here. I was waiting for the moment. I got you right here. I wanted to give you your own special time, your own special place. Happy birthday to you, sir. Hope it was a good one. Congratulations to Eli the Ninja on becoming the lead of high school esports in the state of North Carolina. That's fucking amazing. And he did say that he's been dealing with some health stuff that's been going on, potentially due to air quality and stuff where he's currently living. So he was talking about in the announcement video that he had that the air quality should be better in North Carolina. So hopefully everything is good for you, Eli. We're wishing you the best, and congratulations on the new move. Shout out to everyone who joined in the community playdate that I mentioned before. That's All in Juan, a Boba Fett, which I'm fucking pissed he's not going to be in Atlanta. Bart, John, High Tech Redneck, Sin showed up as well. Shout out Sin, Lumberquack, Riz, Fox, Snagoo, Soon, Tyler Hits Buttons, and Villainize. Let's see. Let me see.
While Josh is looking through the notes here, I know we're getting to the end of the show, everyone, but I think we will be rating out. So please stick around to show the Halo community some love.
Do it. Do it. Shout out to everyone who followed and subbed during the live show. Queso with the 2-month resub, Halt with the 12-month resub, Rob Struck with the 11-month resub, Dumpy with the 25-month resub, Mudor with the 2-month resub, Clutch Academy with the 8-month resub, Matt A. Rums with the 15-month resub, and then we have Spara Plays, A Raging Beaver, Private Taco, Rebels, TK Snow, Alpha Numeric Spam, Fashion, CGG, Keys Bomb, and Moosetrocity. Thank you guys for the follows. You all get a woo! Snag with the bit. Fuck you, Snag. Hell yeah. And then shout out to everyone who is a patron at the semi-pro and higher tiers. I got to prepare myself again. Hardy Class, Bart Blackout, Barnaby Jones, Remedy Boots, Head Honcho, Watsy, Dakota, Christian D. Pancakes, Ashley, Voodoo Man, Rossi Monkey Jr., Ricky Dur, Snagoo, Raider Hater, Peanut Mutt, One Swole, Danny Phantom, Rizak, Zarder, Zombie, Damn, High Tech, Redneck, Goalie Sniper, The Only Neve, Heavy Rainfall, and Elated Dartboard. Thank you very much for the extra support over on the Patreon. Also, for those interested, for those that are at the semi-pro and higher tiers, Off the Rails is live right now. So make sure to check your RSS feeds. It'll be there. Community creations. Halo memes every day. Reddit.com/r/Halo memes. If it still exists, which I think it does.
It does. If you want to brave Reddit, it's there.
Yeah, I don't know about braving Reddit. Sounds like a bad idea. Then we had Onset on the show earlier. Make sure to go check it out if you missed it. He was a phenomenal guest to have on to talk through the bracket with Atlanta and everything going on. So speaking of Onset, and by extension, Bravo, We have the Narrative Phase HCS Atlanta pre-show with Onset and Bravo. Go check that video out. It's in the Google Doc of the show notes of the show. Make sure to follow them on all the socials, follow them on Twitch as well, and subscribe to them on YouTube because their content's amazing. Then we have Halo in London, HCS London Major 2024 by Shopify Rebellion. They put a little vloggity vlog. Go check that out. Then we have an upcoming SLG interview with Tide the leader, the Eli and Mikowski series that's going on. Again, it's coming soon. The tweet went out live today, so I wanted to include it in the show notes. So there you go. We have the community spotlight for July 18th, 2024 by 343. We have a new map and game type combination called Commander Clash by Archer Bloodshot. This is the Pokemon game type that had just been made by him. So go check that out if you're interested. Everything's in the show notes. Check it out. And then we have Halo Anvil Accord, which is an audiobook by 343. Check that out too. Thank you, Sir Assassin. Greatly appreciated. Again, real quick, for those who may have missed it, for anybody that is going to be giving away freebies in Atlanta, whether it be stickers, Callie's got the tag, Xbox. It's not Xbox Player One. It's whatever. He's got Oni coins. There's a lot of shit. If you're interested in finding those, all the links that we talked about are in the show notes. Please, I don't care about clicks or any fucking thing like that. I just want you to get free shit. So bookmark that link for the show notes. Save it on your phone, whatever it may be. All the links we talk about are in there. You can find their Twitters. You can reach out to them. Get your free shit. It's awesome. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's all that I've got. Will I prep it up for the raid? Please do me a favor and, fucking pimp the show out, just like pimp it out.
All right. As Josh mentioned before, we have a Patreon where we're doing a little extra content, video show, audio show. Go check it out. Patreon.com/HCS Pro Talk. As always, you can find us on your favorite podcast services, but not a podcast anymore. So find us on all your favorite audio listening services. Just search for HCS Pro Talk. We're on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and others like Josh's favorite.
Pocket Cast, still not mad.
If you want to find a link to any of our socials or sites we're on, find us on Linktree, linktr.ee/HCS Pro Talk, all one word, where you can find us on Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok. And if you want to take a peek at our merch, the Atlanta merch line is out now.
It is right now.
Go find us. We're out there. And if you go to hcsprotalk.com, now and has for a while sent you to haloevolve.co.
Your home for Halo.
Because we partnered with the fine folks over at Podcast Evolve a long time ago. And we're hosted on their site. They do an amazing job with it. And make sure to check out their amazing shows, such as Podcast Evolve, Mission Debrief, Halo TV Plus, Book Club, Build-Up Blocks, Halo Headlines, and Halo Gear Guide. Josh, that's all I got. Atlanta is finally on the horizon and approaching quickly. Anything else you got before we close it out?
Man, we're going to be rating Dayquil, so please stick with us here while we get that prepped up. But before we close things out, I want to say what I basically said every time for those who are still with us right now. I mean it when I say it. I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer here, but I mean this when I say we don't know how many more of these we have with majors coming up. Okay. We don't know how many more majors we're ever going to have. We don't know how many world championships we're ever going to have. You got to make the most of it. If you're going to the event, soak it all in. Please. We're all there for the same thing. We want to see these players play at their absolute best. And we're going to get that. Every single event, the Halos has just been better and better and better. So please, if you're attending live in person, make the most of it. Soak it all in. Don't take it for granted. And honestly, the same goes for those that are watching at home. Soak it all in. Just watch as many of the matches that you possibly can. You have all the streams at your fingertips. Utilize them. The Halo this weekend is going to be fucking phenomenal. It always is. Fucking Onset said it himself. So, yeah, that's really all I have to say on it. We don't know how many more of these we're going to have, and we got to embrace everyone we get. So, thank you all for being here. Hope you guys enjoyed. And see you in Atlanta. If flights get there on time. That's the big fucking kicker. But in the words of our show, we'll have to wait and see. So, all right. We're going to go raid Dayquil. Have a great night, everyone. And again, I'll just say this real quick. As long as flights are still on schedule and everything, plan for the Atlanta post show to take place next Monday evening. Okay? Same time, same place. Hope to see you there. Enjoy the Halo this weekend, everybody. We'll see you next time. But until then. Bye-bye!